What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me by typing where you're viewing from in the chat, and I'll be right back with you after the countdown.
Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I'm fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with a tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hate up. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I must stay up. I'm all the way up. I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you. I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Made little baby today with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Showtime!
All right. What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me in the chat by typing show up. Show up if you can hear me in the chat, because today I have pushed through, and I am truly holding on to my goal for this phase of my journey of just showing up. I am asking God for a lot, and therefore my answer was show up and it will happen. And so today was definitely one of those days. So thank you to the 93% of you who said that you have that you have liked the live stream and gave it a thumbs up. We got 47 people who voted and 199 viewing. So if you have not liked as of yet, please hit that like button. Remember, everything is free except for the cost of a like or dislike if you're just in the bushes. Engagement is engagement. Your view still counts no matter what. But thank you for hitting that like or dislike button. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone in the chat letting me know that you could hear me. Sneakerdoodle, Rachel, Sugar. I was about to flow and got tripped up on my own tongue. But Deborah, Carol, Renee, Don, Robin, his MJ, Nicole, Yolanda, Linda, J Rave, Chocolate. Oh, my screen jumped. Shaquila, Shamika, and Explore, Deshaun, Paula, Rochelle, Mocha, Nicole, Marianne, Don, Sharon, and everyone, Renee S., and everyone else in the chat who has let me know that you could hear me. I greatly appreciate that. So today, I almost used up all of my show prep time trying to, I was going through the digital assets that I have, trying to pull things for today because we were doing a deep dive. And so when we do the deep dives, I have to go into my archives, which is a separate system that I keep. Well, I got two of them actually. Two. One is helps me find everything. It's a digital asset management system. So in that system alone, I have well over 2,000 photos, videos, images of all sorts. I would say 80% of them are related to Darius Cooks, but there's other stuff in there too. And so today, as I was going through it, looking particularly for things only related to what we're talking about today, I ran across so many gems that I forgot about. And I pulled a couple in today for tonight, but there are literally like a few thousand across all my storage that we will continue to, I will continue to show you guys as we continue this weekly expose series, the expose that was requested by Darius Cooks himself. Ask and you shall receive. Tonight, what we're going to do is we are wrapping up part 2 of the Darius Cooks Chicago Cupcake Gallery Ponzi scheme. And then we're going to take a short trip down memory lane. It was some things, you know, like I told y'all, I was digging through the crates, blowing that dust off, and ran into a couple things. I was like, let me show them. And then we'll be revisiting this last one depends on how much time we have, because my plan is not to go over 2 hours. That is my limit for today, because we still got to come live tomorrow. And I think I need to really do a daytime live and the evening live. And I'm having an after party live with the Patreons tomorrow evening. So it's going to be a long day. So I don't want to go too long today. But tomorrow I feel like I might need to go live in the daytime, because there's like some breaking stories. There's some things I haven't gotten to the past couple days with general trending topics. So just be on the lookout for that. And in the chat pinned to the top is the link where you can connect with me on all of my platforms, and you can get notifications of when I'm going live if you are on our VIP text in our VIP text community or a part of our Vale's Important People Facebook group. Those are the two, and Patreon. Those are the three places where I send notifications when I'm going live. And then if we have time, we will revisit one of Crooks' greatest stunts since I started exposing him, along with, me and thousands of others. But when I came out, he had to turn his attention to try to silence me. Silence! And it didn't work because look at me still over here talking. And that was a year ago. You can't shut me up. You cannot silence the truth. Okay, so first of all, we do know that because we didn't go live earlier today, I am going to still do our missing persons alert. And I'm going to do it kind of rapid fire so that we have a good amount of time to get through Darius Cooks exposing the crook. So the first person we have is Amos Donnell Morgan, who is 63. Let me enlarge this. On May 25th of 2023 at approximately 6 p.m., LaSalle County deputies located an abandoned vehicle in Otter Creek Township area. The vehicle is related to the missing persons investigation from the Joliet Police Department, and Amos D. Morgan, age 63 years old, of Joliet, was reported missing on May 12th, 2023. Amos was last seen in the Streetor area on May the 10th of 2023. An extensive search is being conducted. If anyone has any information on the whereabouts of Amos Morgan, please contact the LaSalle County Sheriff's Department office at 815-433-2161 or the Joliet Police Department at 815-724-3100. And I'm going to put that in the chat because I can cut and paste it. And then there's a little bit more information that I have. I'll put that down there. So that applies to Amos Donnell. They said he was driving a 2005 Chevy Blazer. They gave a license plate, but I don't think that's necessary because they do have the vehicle. They said he's described as being 5'7". He's 150 pounds. He's 63 years old and was last seen in Streetor, Illinois on Wednesday, May 10th, 2023, traveling in his 2005 Chevy Blazer. And he also lived in Joliet, Illinois. I got to remember, this is talking to a nation of people, not just people in Illinois. And then next we have an endangered and missing person, at-risk missing person. We have Malaya Dorsey, who is 14 years old. She is 5'7". She weighs approximately 115 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. It says this has been activated by Washington State Patrol on behalf of the Tuwikala Police Department. The incident details says she's last seen on July 21st of 2023 at 1:10 a.m. on 43rd Ave S or South in Tuwikala, Washington. She may be trying to get to Chicago. Her hair is shoulder length with braids, wearing a black dress and a white coat. No associated vehicle for her. And then they give a little bit more detail. They said that I'm trying not to reread. They're saying that she may be trying to get to Chicago. Another witness told the family that they saw her being pulled into a black Tahoe at the Safeway in downtown Renton, and that she looked scared. While police investigate those tips, they are still asking anyone who has any information to come forward. And you can call 911 or and submit a tip anonymously, or Crime Stoppers of Puget. And the phone number is 800-222 and the words tips, TIPS, tips. And you could also use the tips app, and or go to crimestoppers.com. And there is a up to $1,000 reward that leads to an arrest or subsequent charges related to this case. And I'm going to cut and paste. I hope this is not too many characters for this chat, but let me see. I'm going to cut and paste her information as well. And it's too many characters, so I'm going to do it this way. Way too many. I'm gonna just give the phone number. Yeah, I'm just cut out everything except for this. There we go. Keep it simple. All right, and then we're moving on to our last missing persons alert, and this happens to be multiple individuals. So this is 4 youth or children. And this is out of Chicago. They're saying the Chicago police are asking for help locating 3 missing siblings who they believe are with their older brother. Police said they believe 19-year-old Jama Abdi went to the home of the 12-year-old Bashir Adi, 14-year-old Muhammad Abdi, and 15-year-old Willa Abdi in the 2000 block of Highland Avenue in Chicago's West Ridge neighborhood, and took them without their parents' consent. Police said they believe it's possible that the 4 are headed to Kentucky in a black 4-door 2011 Kia sedan with Illinois plate MD 57774. MD 57774. And they said that the brother is described as, no, I'm sorry, Bashir Adi is described as a black girl, 5'5" tall, 120 pounds. Muhammad Abdi is described as a black boy, 5'7" tall, about 130 to 135 pounds. And Willa Abdu is described as a black girl, 5 foot tall and approximately 150 pounds. Jama Abdu is described as a black man, 5 feet 7 inches tall, about 120 to 125 pounds. So you can basically blow him over if y'all see him. And then if you have seen these siblings or know their whereabouts, please contact the Chicago Police Area 3 Special Victims Unit, and that's at 312-744-8266, or you can, of course, call 911. And question for the chat: who do you not call? We're going to probably do this from here on out. Again, no one has done it yet, but I know how this thing can go. Who do you not call if you are blessed to be able to locate any of these people? Who do you not call? Okay, we're moving on. Oh, I don't have no poll going. Right, don't call Vail. Thank you. Oh, I forgot I'm in this doing. Oh, Marianne's down there. Marianne, if you're available, you can put comments on the screen if you're available. Do not call Vail. Right, Vail is the person you don't call. The Ghostbuster. You call them over me. Do not call Vail. I don't know how many ways we can say it. Right. Okay, so moving on, we're about to get into our content. But y'all know how I roll with these polls. Honestly, I didn't even pre-type a bunch of polls like I normally do, so as things come to me, I may put something out there. Oh, let's take this down and we can put this up. So this was the picture I was looking for yesterday when I said, oh, I'm looking for a younger picture. I thought I had pulled it in. I hadn't pulled it in. So I had it for y'all today. This is the Darius Cooks that I knew. This version. I'm sorry. This version is the Crooks I knew. Don't get it twisted. Don't let this photoshopped version fool you. And that ain't even that great. This was what I knew. Not that, but this. Not the roach body version that y'all got now, but this version before the surgeries. That's who I knew. So poll question is, did you catch part 1 of the exposing Darius Cooks Cupcake Gallery Ponzi scheme? And 82% of you said yes. Okay, so that's pretty good. So for the 18% of you who did not see it, it is definitely must-see TV. I know this is not TV, but it's just that damn good. It's like Netflix level. It was next. I'm gonna say it myself. I know I was a part of it, but I'm gonna say it was Netflix level. So definitely check it out. If you have not, you will not be disappointed. We went 3 hours and still had a part 2. That's what this is. So on yesterday, we covered the Cupcake Gallery Ponzi scheme. We started out talking about, and we're going to do a quick little review for those who weren't here and to refresh those of you who were here, but it was a long night. So I want us to all level set so we're on the same page. So last night, we started out by talking about the origins of 3 Inches of Sadness. I did find the post that I was telling you guys about on Twitter where this 3 Inches of Sadness tagline just popped in my head as a read because Crooks was coming for me, trying to drag me in those internet streets, and I had had enough. And I had been doxxed too by then, meaning giving personal information out, trying to shut me up. So that's where it came from. However, tomorrow, Foolishness Friday, I'm gonna share that with y'all. I'm gonna share y'all a little thread with y'all and what was said, and then what I said, and then what I said again, then what I said again. No. So and then we also included a new image that we have, which for now at least I'm coining the camel toe bandit, the camel toe bandit. But I feel like we need a good name. I'm not locked in on that. I'm not locked in on that. So if you have a good name for it, you know, for this to remind us of this moment in Crooks memes, because we got a lot of memes. Take this down. That way y'all can see it. Don't want to cover it up. Want y'all to be able to see that. So if you have any names that we can use in the future to refer to this particular image, share it in the chat. This will be a great time to share it in the chat, and we might find us a new name that flows a little better than the camel toe bandit, because that's a lot of words. Camel toe bandit. Then we pulled receipts on the Cupcake Gallery and receipts of Darius Cooks' self-hate and his hatred and low perception and disregard of Black women. Yes, some of you have heard that, the rumblings of that, and you're like, why are people accusing him of that? That is shameful, et cetera, et cetera. And we showed you where it came from, the origins of it. And in his own words, Black women, and I'm not going to revisit the whole thing, but in short, he basically said Black women were broke, unmarried, had the inability to find a husband who would allow them, who could take care of them well enough where they had the choice to stay at home if they wanted to with the children. He also said that Black women don't eat cupcakes. They don't eat cupcakes. And Black women don't own dogs. They don't go for walks to the park with their children. And so because of those things, his perception of those things, he said that Black women were not his target audience. He was not interested in serving and having Black women as his clients, his customer base. He wanted white women, white women. That's all he wanted. But those white women got him together and wasn't paying his. They were strolling on by in them $300 strollers right on past that Cupcake scam, that Ponzi scheme storefront. They drove right on past. They rode right on past that with their kids, the stroller, and the dog. And so he then was like, well, I guess I'll go back to the trusted Black women who got him to the place where he could even have seed money to get a storefront. Then we talked about the inception of the Cupcake Gallery and how it was birthed out of Crooks' needs for a plan when he got fired from yet another job. He was again in payroll processing. That was his career, not this elaborate lie he's made up about being director of HR. I don't know where the HR piece came in. Director of HR at some global, I think, real estate company in LA. I'm forgetting the name. I got it when I need to find it. But global company, said he had a corner office in a high rise. But then when he put in his letter of resignation and he took a picture, because, you know, he does everything for the internet, took a picture of it, and it was in a cubicle. A regular old cubicle too. Not even the nice fancy ones. It was the old school kind of just, you know, plain. The old ugly laminate looking ones. Took a picture, but you're in a corner office. What director of HR for a global company got a cubicle in his corner office? What? So we talked a little bit about that. Then we talked about the apartment in which the Cupcake Gallery started in the kitchen of his third floor apartment on the south side of Chicago on Kingston. That was the name of the street, which eventually that apartment, nice apartment, it was a beautiful apartment. It was exposed brick. We got some pictures of it. It's around. He called this stuff showing some stuff. Yes. I don't know when. Somebody sent me a text message saying he was basically pointing out all the friends he no longer talks to in Chicago because he watched. He's going to be watching again too. You got a lot of binge watching because we went long yesterday. And you make a lot of, for somebody who's so busy, you sure got a lot of time. That was a 3-hour live. So for you to watch the 3-hour live and then hop on there for your hags, and then because you're always trying to, you know, divert and recreate the narrative, you know, I know your game. Recreate the narrative. So you get on your live and then start showing them the pictures of all the people that don't talk to you, or you claim that you let go of in Chicago. And the person who sent me the message and a screenshot was like, and he said it's like 12 people he don't talk to in Chicago no more. Okay, you're proving my point. You're proving my point that you were scamming people and people stopped messing with you. That's not a good look when you're like, oh, I had to get rid of 12 people. That's a lot of people. Who's the common denominator? Because those 12 people all still communicate. All 12 of them still communicate with each other. Hang out, trips, going to dinner with some of them on Wednesday. Actually, I had my dates confused when I told y'all I wasn't going to be here Tuesday night, and then I was here. I had my date confused. I thought it was this Tuesday, but it's actually next Wednesday. But anyway, same people. These people know him very well. People I'm going out with. We're all still friends. And we're not scrubs. We're not scrubs. These are professionals. They ain't broke. None of them broke. We talking about 6-figure earners. Every one of them. A couple millionaires in the group too. He don't know that because I don't talk to nobody no more. He distanced himself because he was on this, the Ponzi scheme, and other things, because we'll get to the other ones, the 5 other businesses off the top of my head that he was simultaneously trying to run with this scam. And so he was doing all that behind the scenes, and he had to pull away from us because we were all smart enough that if we were close enough to really know what was going on, we would all know he was scamming. So he started hiding out and stopped hanging out with us as much when he started scamming on this level. But nice, narrative, narrative spin. I didn't see it, unfortunately. I appreciate people updating me, but it's like if I'm not seeing the video, ain't nothing I can really do with it. Like, send me the footage. That's what I need. Send me the footage, and I can do something with it and present it. But also, we watched one of his Ponzi scheme sales pitch videos where he looked a lot like this. He's a little younger, but it looked a lot like that. And you know, he was working towards his next grift. He had opened the Cupcake Gallery. It was literally in its infancy. The place wasn't even 3 months old, if even that. And he was already trying to get the investors to invest more money in his next Ponzi scheme, which was the Cupcake Gallery cake mix. And that was in efforts basically to squeeze more money out of his original investors, the ones that he knew had more money to give. So it was funny that he would pay some people, and some people never saw a dime. Other people saw their money. Some got paid quite a bit of their money back, but those were the ones that I have emails of him back and forth trying to convince them to invest more money. True Ponzi scheme. True Ponzi scheme. True grifter. Then we talked about how he created the Sugar Whip food truck and the Uptown Pies, which you see there featured. And both of those were businesses, two businesses that he operated within the Cupcake Gallery storefront. And he created those two additional businesses for grifting purposes and Ponzi scheme purposes. But he was mainly commingling, using them to commingle and the money and profits from the various businesses. Because now who can keep track of what money was for somebody buying pies, what money was somebody buying the cupcakes in the store, the Cupcake Gallery, and who was buying the cupcakes off the Sugar Whip? Because they were both selling cupcakes. But he was telling his investors that the Sugar Whip food truck, bakery truck or whatever, wasn't a part of the Cupcake Gallery. They're two separate businesses, but you baking everything in the same location. There was not multiple cash registers. It was one register. So he defrauded his original investors. That was his grift. That was how he skated through, like, well, the Cupcake Gallery ain't profitable no more. There's nothing for me to pay y'all. But yet you got two other businesses running within that same building. Storefront, not building. I ain't going to give it that. It wasn't like, ooh, this huge building and he had different space. No. A regular little storefront. It just happened to be a double-sided storefront that he had there. He lucked up on. So he did all that to get out of paying the investors their dividend, their monthly dividend payments that he was supposed to send them. And the funny thing is, now being able to look back, he created those businesses, the additional business, the Uptown Pies and the Sugar Whip, right around the time that he was supposed to start paying people back. So now all of a sudden I got an excuse not to pay y'all back because now I have these additional businesses. And I remember one person, a guy, who was saying he questioned him about that, like the, you know, how immoral that was for him to create another business and then claim it's not related to the business it's located in. And this guy had invested money. But again, so many stories, I can't remember the details beyond that. Then we briefly talked about his predatory behavior as an employer and his cruel treatment of his that his employees have faced at his hand. And it started, first victims, employee victims, was at the Cupcake Gallery. He would have, I mean, he didn't have like a full staff. He had, I think at his height, he might have had 2 or 3 people working there. Not at the same time. They would do, you know, shifts. He pretty much was there. And then maybe in the evening, so he could get off early, he would have them close it. Or when he started trying to do the Sugar Whip, like food truck stuff, he would have someone working there. But then, as we read, and we'll read it again today, someone commented something I probably knew back then and just totally forgot, because again, that was well over 10 years ago and wasn't that significant to me. But he actually closed the Cupcake Gallery for a full month. For what? Why are you closing for a full month? But you're claiming it's so. What kind of business closed for a full month? He wouldn't. He had. It wasn't like, you know, he was having his mommy makeover back then. This was prior to this. There was no mommy makeovers. So where were you? Because we knew you were around. That was before you escaped and ran off to New Jersey. That was before the everything blew up with the Fresh Go and all the other fraudulent Ponzi schemes you had going on. I don't know. It'll probably come out, you know, like everything else. And lastly, we started to review the customer complaints and comments that I cut short. We read one, and it was epic. It was a good one. I don't know about the rest. Like, I've read them before when I originally archived them well over a year ago, or close to 2 years probably. I archived them. I read them at that point. I haven't read them since. So literally, I don't know. This is going to be as much of a surprise like last night was, because I don't remember what they said. I just know that they was running down in real time what was happening there. So that's the great part about it. These are regular everyday folks, and you can tell that they are unmelanated people. You can definitely tell they're melanated challenge. You can tell that, which was the customer base he originally wanted, because he didn't want nobody who looked like him and his mama, his family. He don't want nobody that remind him. Wait a minute, is my internet? This internet better not be acting up. Hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me, because my monitor is saying, that I got a connection problem. And I got a whole new internet here. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, so it was something going on here. Hold on, let me fix it though, because this is how I monitor what's going on. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, perfect. I'm like, I said all that and they probably couldn't hear me. Okay, it's restarting over there. So yes, we know that the comments, the great thing about the comments is that they are in real time. These aren't people who were after him. This is not the people who hate him on Twitter, like all these. This ain't no jealous ex boyfriend, as he likes to mislabel me as. This was none of that. This is regular folk from the neighborhood, and you'll see many of them saying that they just wanted to support a local business, but they were honest about their experiences and their perception of what was occurring with the business. So, and then after that, we'll go through where we left off with the Cupcake Gallery reviews, and then we'll see. Actually, I'm gonna reread the one we read, because we only read one. I'm gonna reread that one, and then we'll go through them, and we'll see how far we get down. We'll get done with those, because it's 12 of them, but I know we'll get done with those before our cutoff period. But then we'll see how far we can get down memory lane, and because we're again stopping at the 2-hour mark. And but nonetheless, I really think that last night was very enlightening. Let me know in the chat if you feel like last night was enlightening. I feel like it was informative for all of us who were there. And I feel like the people were in the chat motivating me and to keep exposing the truth. Like,
I'm just scoot on over and let you whack him. Get him again. Get him for me.
So we start with returning to the comments from yesterday. And we're going to start with this young man here. Well, I'm just saying, yeah. Ooh, Jesus, y'all, hold on. I didn't put myself another version in my new notes, so that I could actually read it. And it's not on the screen yet. Yeah, hold on. My bad. Actually, I can go to the other. Let me go back to yesterday's notes. Give me a second. Bear with me. Can I read that? That's going to be a struggle. Okay, where we at? Here we go. Yesterday was Wednesday. Okay, that's not the note I need. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, hopefully they're here. Hold on, I'm in here now. Here we go. All right, I think that's all of them too. Look at God, won't he do it? All right, so we start with this person. They say, hate to say it, but the Cupcake Gallery has gone downhill. This is also very there's another thing I'm working on. I was hesitant to say, but I'm just gonna say, you know, Darius Cooks has tried to create or reinvent himself as a food reviewer. And it occurred to me, what would it be like for the food reviewer to have his former restaurants that were shuttered closed down and had their licenses taken from the state of Georgia? Like, thank you. What would it be like if we looked at the reviews from when the businesses were open? Because this person is an expert. So in that, we should see what he would do or what he did do in this successful 3 restaurants, 2 in Atlanta, Greens and Gravy, Soul Crab Atlanta, and then Soul Crab Chicago. I have all the reviews for all 3 locations. So it's going to be a lesson, and this is my social service work. This is me helping to help him expand his brand so that people know who's reviewing them. Because we'll see, we should definitely see. Wouldn't you agree? Hold on, let me do a poll. Wouldn't you agree that if he's able to review Black businesses and restaurants that are currently open, still operating, did not get closed down through the pandemic? They didn't have any excuses about, oh, staffing is hard and people steal and the pandemic and blah, blah, blah. They ain't had these. I mean, they had those issues, but they persevered. So don't you think, do you think it's a good idea to review Crooks restaurants? Do you think that I should go ahead? Hold on, y'all. Do you think I should review his restaurants? I just put, do you think I should review Crooks? Should we review his restaurants? I mean, we're already starting with one business. Why stop here? Because this is a person who today, when they recreate the narrative, rewrites history. All of a sudden, they're a brilliant business person, has never had failures. They can complain about people having a dirty plate, a little crumb on a plate that, a person who's with special needs who they hired, they're trying to help the community, and the person didn't clean the plate properly. We've all had that happen at points during our dining experiences. You don't necessarily tear a whole entire business down because of it and drag them in front of millions. But, his standards are high. So if that would bother him, a little crumb on the plate, God forbid, a piece of hair, we should see like no kind of issues with his businesses. But again, just a little preview. It's coming. It's going to be a lot to put together, but it's coming. I was like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. It'll align with his series. I mean, for the most part, I'm just going to start aligning with his series. I can't wait until he comes out with his documentary. Oh, I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait. Can't wait to sink my teeth into that one. But for now, we're going to work with what we got. So, Cupcake Gallery. This is a review from multiple people. None of them are me. Real life reviews. They say, I hate to say it, but the Cupcake Gallery has gone downhill. The first 3 or 4 times my wife and I visited, the cupcakes were amazing. After the month-long vacation, then fancy flavors were added. So again, he went on a month-long vacation. Their mission seemed to be turned more towards quantity rather than quality. Unfortunately, I can't say that I've had a good cupcake from there since last summer. I can agree with this. I didn't go into this last night, but I thought about it after our live. I said I didn't really talk about the butter cakes because that's what we called them in Chicago, butter cakes. Now, I was one of the first people, literally, first people to ever taste his cupcakes. So remember, I told you, he was never a baker. So he practiced, he stole the idea because cupcakes were very popular. Again, he says he's the blueprint, but he's only the blueprint of stealing other people's ideas, capitalizing off other people's ideas. So we have Molly's Cupcakes and Sprinkles, I think, in Chicago. I think those were the two. And he saw that it was just, cupcakes became a craze around that time. And so he decided, I got to learn how to make these cupcakes. Because he used to go to, I think it was Molly's all the time. Or Sprinkles, I can't remember. He used to go to one of them all the time in downtown Chicago. And so I'm sure he got him some and he examined and tried to figure out. And so he came up with his cupcake. He made red velvet cupcakes with cream cheese icing. That was literally the only flavor he would make. I am not exaggerating. I am not lying. That was the only flavor he made because he was not a baker and he had to try to practice to figure out how to make other flavors. Eventually, by the time he got around to having the Cupcake Gallery, he had kind of figured that out. Now, in the beginning, when I first had it, it was good. And it was never to me like commercial level, but it was like good for somebody baking a cupcake from scratch at home. It was very good from that perspective. And I have a huge sweet tooth, so that too. So they were good for that, but they were not Molly's. They don't remind you of like a Krispy Kreme level of, commercial goods, nothing like that. So after a while, and I think it's around the time that this guy says when he came back after that month-long vacation, all of a sudden it was about quantity. So he had all these various fancy flavors, as this person says, because I think when he first opened, I think he had a handful of flavors, literally about a handful. I don't think I'm mistaken on that. And then he tried to graduate to like 30 flavors or something like that. And that's when I noticed, y'all can see here that you see that, and somebody mentioned, I saw in the chat, I watched the replay last night of this part of our video. So I did see y'all comments, and someone was talking about how, for one, even the cream cheese, the icing looks greasy. It was. And also you can see the wrapper, the cupcake wrapper, the paper. You see it's greasy, right? That's all that butter. So people I knew and all of that started calling them butter cakes. Not cupcakes, but butter cakes. And I will say my last 2 or 3 times that I got them, they had a very vegetable oil taste to them. They were not good. It left the aftertaste of the vegetable oil in your mouth. And like a slickness in your mouth. You were lubing your mouth. And not in a good way. So I backed off of them. On top of that, I had to pay full cost. Now, mind you, and I'm not the kind of person, because I get it. When you have a business, everybody want to, discount and all that. And I wasn't that kind of person. But the way I did feel was that because of everything that I had done for him and a lot of stuff for free, and the stuff I did for his business, I did at a discount still, even though he had to pay more than he wanted to pay, but it was still a very deep discount. So just even that, and keeping in mind, he didn't have a car. I drove him around forever. I didn't ask him for gas money and things like that. So just because of that, and we had a brotherhood, even you can see when he reminisces and talk about his tribe in Chicago, he mentions me, and he mentions me in a glazing in the sky, those were good times kind of way. So we were like brothers. And so for him to be charging me almost $50 for a dozen cakes, and it wasn't like I was there every day or nothing, I felt some kind of way about it. I did. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna pay you, because it ain't like I don't have the money, but damn, okay. I mean, wouldn't even give me one cupcake, y'all. That's not even one. I ain't saying it each night like he needed to give me a dozen, but even one. I would be different. It's not gonna break my bank to give my closest friends who had my back and all of that. Yeah, it would. Yes. Who just said poop cakes? I just saw. I'm looking at my iPad down here because I got my chat covered up so I can read that. What did I just see? Poop cakes. Robin L. Go to the corner. Go to the corner. Okay, so we continue, and let me speed up because we'll never. We're already about to wrap up an hour already. Jesus. Y'all know I just can go with this stuff. I can't help it. I can't help it. It's just so easy. Jesus. It's too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. That's where the theme song came from. You would think it was made for us. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. All right. So I'm so ready for Velnito. I miss Velnito now. He's going to be here tomorrow, y'all. And I'm ready for him. So in response, okay, hold on. Where I leave off. They go on to say, I think this is the guy. Yeah, because he said me and my wife or something, I think. Well, that don't necessarily mean, but I think this is the guy. He says, I wish them the best over there at the Cupcake Gallery and Uptown Pies, but I hope the pie business doesn't take away from the quality of the cupcakes even more. They did. I never saw by the time he started Uptown Pies, we weren't talking. Things had distance between us because of the food truck drama. And so I never had the pie. I never saw what the pies looked like or anything like that. But I do know that they were like not just dessert pies, but they were dinner pies as well. So there was, I was trying to think of what's the one with the mashed potatoes and the ground beef and like shepherd's pie and spinach pie. And so those were and he had some regular dessert pies too. But these were like dinner pies on top of that. Another concept he stole from somewhere else that was doing it in Chicago at the time, I remember, because that started to become a thing, like dinner pies, just and not just dessert pies. Not a horrible concept at all. It's just his poor business skills. And then they go on to say, and to respond to the previous post about the owner not treating people well, that kind of stinks. I can say I've ever been treated bad, just indifferent. You can see it reflected in the Yelp reviews, bad or flaky service, declining quality, etc. So what you should also know is this is a sampling of the comments. This was conversations that I was having with my crew, with our friends, with people, family members. Again, Darius was a part of my world. We weren't, like he's trying to make it like I'm some crazy ex or something. It was somebody I dated, and then that was just it. No, we dated for 2 years, friends for 9 years. The dating almost just disappeared off our radar completely because we were like brothers. He knew my people. He knew my mama. I knew his mama, knew siblings, all of that, cousins, all of it. And so those people who weren't his flying monkeys were having these conversations about, did you see those reviews? Oh my God, they be dragging his business and blah, 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 and this and that. But he always gave the image of everything so perfect and ignoring all of that. If you noticed yesterday when we watched the video of his sales pitch, he said, and leave a review. But if it's a bad one, if you had a great experience or whatever, leave a review. But if you didn't, don't leave anything. Because he was having those sort of issues way back then. And that was when he was starting to learn how to ignore people, silence people, etc. Okay, so They go on to say, also, is it me or does the owner seem to like to bite off more than he can chew? We know that to be true still today. The sugar whip, which is the cupcake truck, is no more. The lunch machine, the lunch truck, has been talked about since last year, but hasn't rolled out. Remember, that's the business I had with him. It did roll out, but Darius walked away and left us hanging. So that was part of the problem. We took it out a couple days and was like, we gave up on it. Wasn't something we was passionate about anyway. We were just at that point, like, hopefully we can try to get our money back out of this. And I'll give again, we're going to talk about the lunch machine story. Y'all hold on. Ooh, I'm going to talk about it with the receipts and the contracts and the emails. While he's sitting there just talking off the top of his head. You know what I think it was? I think it was Lavelle. Could you imagine? I left Chicago and all the years, you know, I'm going viral and he just seeing it and seething and just angry. Bitch, wasn't nobody paying no attention to you. I didn't even know what was going on with you. The only time in full transparency I would know anything about Darius would be when people would send me the ish he got in trouble for, like him getting into it with a pastor. We'll do that one day too. Like his drama. And they'd be like, can you believe what this queen doing? That was the kind of updates I would get. And I'd be like, I told y'all he crazy. And I was like, and I would always say, it's going to come back to bite him one day. And then I would just move on with my life. Wasn't nobody paying no attention. I didn't watch him on Periscope. I didn't know what platforms he had. I didn't know where he lived and all of those things unless somebody mentioned stuff like that. So anyway, I wasn't paying him no attention. But again, that's the narrative he's put out there. And he's doing this off the top of his head, off pure speculation. I ain't got to do that because I got receipts. Whereas you talking about how you finagled us in the business deal because we were just slow business-wise. No, we have a contract that is as clear that you broke per our attorney, my attorney, reviewing the documents. And we had an attorney review when we first gave it to him. But the attorney reviewing the documents, and then I sent you letters, and we consulted another attorney to actually sue you in court. We just didn't want to spend that additional $3,000 as a retainer, and then most likely more because you were on the run. And the attorney told us, we see he's a grifter. He owes all these people money. He's broke because when he left, he was broke. And all he had was his raggedy used car that he piled all his stuff from the apartment he had with the roommate. Anything he could fit in his bedroom is what went in the car, but he left furniture, TVs, all that kind of stuff. We knew he was a grifter. It wasn't worth spending an additional $3,000 in addition to the money that he had already stolen, which was near $20,000 from me alone. It didn't make sense to put more money after bad, knowing he was a grifter. And I'm glad I didn't, because look at what he's done. He continued to grift. And again, this ain't speculation. This ain't no, oh, what I think had happened. No, factual. We got receipts. I don't know what I did with the folder because I used to have it handy so I can just show it up to y'all. You know, I like the dramatics. I put it somewhere. I don't even know where. It's also scanned in my computer, so I ain't worried. It ain't lost. That it ain't. Closing out this poll, do you think it's a good idea to review Crooks restaurants? 93% of you say yes. 7% of you are D-hags. Woohoo! Hi, D-hags. Woohoo! No, that's y'all mating call. Did I take that down? Well, I guess I can read and keep this up for y'all. Let's put that up for y'all. Okay, so then let me finish this comment. This is still a comment from yesterday. Jeez, I gotta speed it up. He then goes out to say, they go on to say, the deal website Local Holla was supposed to launch in February, but has yet to. And like I said before, I hate to say it because I like to see local businesses succeed. I just think he needs to take a step back and figure out one business, perfect, that then maybe worry about starting up all these other ones. P.S. It's kind of strange for him to post as a customer using his own everyday cooking account. It isn't doing him any favors, just making him look bad. So for those of you who weren't here yesterday, Darius Cooks was exposed once again. I actually ran into some new receipts. Well, not new, but ones I had forgot about, showing the burner accounts he uses where he communicates as his followers, as customers, etc., to praise himself, when it's actually him hiding behind these burner accounts, they call them. A few times, more times than you can count, he's been caught because he sometimes forgets to log out of his business account to log into the fake account. And he'll just comment as Susie Orman, Darius is so great. I really love those butter cakes. I ordered 3,000 for my upcoming event, like all of that. But then you look and it's from Darius Cooks himself. And then he don't catch it until people call it out. Craziness. So then we go on to Chi-Town Philly is this person's name. And they say, Rick, it appears that you are correct. Maybe an associate employee of his is posting under his profile. Benefit of the doubt now. Benefit of the doubt for now. So they're saying maybe it's not Crooks doing this posting. Maybe it's one of his employees, a team member or something, who's posting under his profile and they're accidentally doing it. Not the case at all, because he didn't have nobody on his social media but him. So that wasn't happening. It was Crooks. Hamburglar. And then this person, put it on the screen so y'all, gonna have the detractors saying, I'm just making this up for whatever reason. Not that I really care to prove anything to them. But if you see at the very bottom, it says, this is from Swiss Hammer. Swiss Hammer replies to Chi-Town Philly and says, except Chi-Town Philly, that he says it was him. It was him. It was Crooks. All right, so we move to the next one. Did that change on the screen? Oh, it was okay. I doubled it up by accident. Okay. So then we move. Did I skip one? Let me see. I think I skipped one. I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna just jump to what I got right here. So this person, then Jamie, says, Rick, yes, it appears he did with his first post. Darius, the issue I have is that, yes, we were great customers and even referred you many customers at Northwest via your truck. The fact that you consider suddenly not responding to Facebook messages regarding the order of cupcakes for our wedding 2 weeks before the wedding as a misunderstanding is quite a lot. Well, says quite a lot. This was our wedding and it was a huge deal for us. And we scrambled at the last minute to find a new baker. You simply replied with I'm sorry about that, and gave me some lame excuse that you never check your Facebook messages. Though oddly, you had asked me via Facebook message for our final list of flavors. Never mind that we had dozens of Facebook message exchanges that you responded to in a very timely manner. Maybe 8 dozen isn't a large enough order to bother with when you are scheduled to go on vacation. Same behavior, y'all. You should have told us weeks or months before. On many occasions, we came into your store, bought cupcakes, and discussed things. Luckily for us, after calling half a dozen bakeries that could not accommodate us on such short notice, a friend of a friend heard about our situation and worked miracles for our wedding day. So again, this is the kind of horrible person that we are talking about. Not new behavior. These aren't people who know him. These aren't the people who hate him on Twitter. All these narratives that he creates. These are not people who are just jealous of him, because this version of the Crooks that they were talking about is the broke version. The version who hadn't yet put out the how I became a millionaire video yet on YouTube. Who does that? Oh, he wants attention so bad. Damaged little boy. Damaged little boy. Look at me. Look at me. Look at what I did. I became a millionaire. Look, everybody. Look, everybody. Nobody was looking at his crayon paper mache artwork as a kid. So now he got to abuse us every day. Like, look at me. Look at me. Look what I did. I created drama. I'm a stunt queen. Hey, everybody. So the grifting and hurting people's livelihoods and just giving a F. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot about your wedding. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. What? So the next person, Meg, says, this Meg? Yeah, this Meg. She says, yikes. Sounds like a really bad and personal situation. I'm certainly sorry you had that experience. Sounds awful. But this is a post about pie and a coupon to boot. Smiley face. This makes me think that there's a good chance that Crooks was Meg. Because for one, there's no real profile picture, even though he does have some that have real profile of real people. But I think this was Crooks. Because like, what person would comment that about that except for the person who created the situation and wants people to move on? Move on. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. So, oh my God. Yeah, this had to be. Okay, so Jamie is replying to Meg, and hopefully he's about to read her for filth. Or read Crooks, hiding under a Meg account for filth. He says, actually, Meg, it wasn't a personal situation. It was a business situation. Facts. Sadly, several other individuals have found themselves in similar situations, and it really breaks my heart because there was/is so much potential, and the neighborhood could really profit from great local businesses. True. Again, all I'm seeing here is a group of people, the demographic he claims that he wanted, because he didn't want the black women. He didn't want the hags that he currently has. He got stuck with them. The flying monkeys. He got stuck with them. Now he love bombed them. Maybe he realized how idiotic they are, how easily swindled they are. Unlike these people who, like, he messed up a cupcake order and they going in. I mean, not mess up, but you know what I'm saying? Like, didn't deliver on it. They going in. They got a whole thread. When I saw this, and again, you could see from the first one I started at, there were conversations prior to that. When I looked at the timeline, they were talking about Darius from 11 a.m. where I started at. No, I'm sorry, 9 a.m. to like 8:40 p.m. was the last one I saw. And I know I got more, but this is, again, doing the quick thing. I had to come to y'all and want to have a late live today. So anyway, now Jamie, he says, it's such a shame that the owner of the Cupcake Gallery has treated some of his customers so poorly because honestly, I would love some tasty pie in addition to another chance to support a local business. So again, they're even like, it's just horrible that it's his behavior. It's not the product. It's not that we hate having black people here. It's his behavior. Then another user comes in and says, I hope this business does well. I tried the cupcakes a few times and was not impressed. That makes a few of us, hundreds of us. I'll give the pie a go and see if it redeems anything. So even with all of that, standing up people for their wedding, etc., there's still people trying to support him. Maybe I'm gonna have to read that one after I'm gonna read this. Well, I'll read this one because I think my stuff is a little out of order, I think. So this one says, no, I read that then. Okay, it's the way they okay, I'll read this. Except it was cut off. Except Chi-Town Philly, that it was him or whatever. They go on to say if he had posted as himself and just explain the situation or talk to Jamie sincerely, it would have looked better. But for now, it looks dishonest and awkward. Let me hold the comments a minute so I can read this because I'm reading from the screen. The cupcakes are delicious. I'm a fan of Elvis, but I'm also a fan of honesty. And then the Cub Reporter says, I have been to the Cupcake Gallery several times, and while I appreciate having them in the neighborhood, their prices do not match their quality. Facts. y'all saw. I can't take it down because I'm reading. Some of their cupcakes are good. Others are so-so. If I'm going to pay $3 or even $4 for one cupcake, I expect it to be delicious. I will stop by to try a slice of pie for $3.50, but paying $21 for an apple pie is over twice what Whole Foods charges using organic ingredients. I hope I'm impressed. So again, now you can see the history of Darius Cooks overcharging people way back then, because for him, the goal was $1 million by 30. Now that he has that, it's just more money at any cost. That way, by the time all his grifts are up, he can live off what he's scammed from people for, at that point, it would be 2 decades. He'll be able to live off of that money, be done with the D-hacks, never have to deal with them again, and live happily ever after, getting his back blown out on his farm. He wants to get a farm. Yeah. So then this is Darius Cooks. He says, Jamie, I've been there a few times. I think I told you I hadn't read this in a minute, so I didn't even prime this up. This is Darius trying to, now they literally just read him his rights for using burner accounts to communicate to his audience, to his patrons, customers, etc. He literally comes into that conversation pretending to be a customer, but forgot to change accounts. So that's why it says everyday cooking, because that's his account. But let's see what his account is saying as a third person. Jamie, I've been there a few times, and I think Darius is great. He always strikes up conversation, and he's always super helpful. Did you tell him how you feel? I couldn't imagine him not trying to please a customer. We could. Okay, let me finish this. Meanwhile, I can't wait for the pies. The strawberry cupcakes are always tasty. Elvis and strawberry shortcakes are my all-time faves. It's hard to get through it, y'all. I'm sorry, it's so unprofessional. I got to hold it together to at least get through it. So Rick then replies, did Darius just post pretending to be someone else? Only neglected to create a different user? Not cool. Oh my God, you cannot write this. You cannot. I'm sorry for clapping in y'all ear like that. You can't write this. It writes itself. I didn't even know it was going to be an example in here. I got to save this for later for the other content we're doing on this. I'm putting the poll question up here. I'm sorry, I'm soaking it all in. Can you imagine Crooks not wanting to please a customer? Basically, I'm asking because the Darius Cooks himself, aka Jamie. No, he was responding to Jamie. He never gave him name. I don't know what his character was in that point. But he says that I couldn't imagine him not trying to please a customer. Well, now we see years later, years later, and many stories of many customers, including the ones we just read, who have said that he could get a goddamn about trying to please them. So I'm asking, can you imagine You really don't have to imagine. Have you seen? It should be 100% up here, but I know we have some flying monkeys and hags and Darius and all of that in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. We ain't done. So where are we now? And for those of you who say, can you imagine Darius Cooks not wanting to please a customer? Those of you who are saying no, stay tuned for future episodes where I'll lay out the hundreds of people that I have. It's thousands, but I have hundreds of examples of DMs and comments and posts and receipts and of him not wanting. And if you are a true follower of his, a true follower, a true hag, a true flying monkey, like if you're part of the inner circle, you see it yourself every day almost. Quit playing in my face. Quit playing in my face. This ain't the place for you to play in my face.
Y'all are so weird. I hate
what does that mean?
They're so weird. I hate them, bro. I swear to God, bro. I hate them, bro. Them is weird.
So we move on to, let me see. Do I have it in here? I didn't pull it in, did I? If it ain't in here, I ain't gonna worry about it. Interesting. I didn't pull it in. Hold on, let me pull it in. Oh, computer slowing down. Maybe I did too many clicks. Hold on. Where we at? Where we at? Nope. From yesterday. Let's see. Talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. There we go. Ooh, shoot. I forgot we had so many in here. Let me see. Can pull that one in. And then hold your horses. Patience, grasshoppers. Patience. Okay, here we go. Oop. It is the one I want. So then we have, so one thing that Darius Cooks has always been good at is marketing. Well, yes and no. Grifting is his overall talent, but he has been able to, you know, he's charismatic and all of that, and it has worked for him and allowed him to get away with a lot of what he's gotten away with. And so even during that time, he had started getting his name out there, getting into publications, et cetera, et cetera. And so this was Uptown Update, which was a website, basically a local news website for the Uptown community, which is the community that the Cupcake Gallery was located in. Hence the name of the Uptown Pies. It was named after the community. So it says, this weekend, the Cupcake Gallery is getting a sibling, the Uptown Pie Company, opening on April 2nd. It'll be located in the same space as the Cupcake Gallery at 1319 West Wilson, and will have the same baker / owner, Darius Williams. You can check us out, and you can check out its website for prices and flavors. We cannot wait. So he ended up in this publication. And as you see, now mind you, imagine yourself as an investor of the Cupcake Gallery. And right as you get to, you're like, oh, the business, based on what Darius Cooks is saying to them and giving them in emails and what he's posting on social media, they're like, I remember I mentioned this in another video a couple times, I think, a long time ago when I first started talking, like 2 years ago. Amazing how time flies. 2 years I've been talking about this foolishness now. But I was talking about how I was around during that time, and I would see, this was before, you know, we fell out basically. I would see his post on Facebook. I wasn't on Twitter back then. I would see his post on Facebook, and he'd be talking about how busy it is, and he done sold out of this, and he done sold out of that. And I'm like, oh, this is good. You know, he's doing well. And we were cool. Like, that was my friend. I'm happy for him. And then I would pop up there every once in a while, just hanging out, visiting. Hey, what's going on? I happen to be in the area or left work early or whatever. Just haven't seen you in a minute, stopping by. And, oh, and I was dating a guy. Actually, I forgot. That was the other reason I stopped up there a few times, like just spur of the moment. I was dating a guy who lived like 3-4 blocks around the corner from there. So I would pop up there and I would have seen messages about these long lines and all of this stuff. And I'm thinking I'm about to go there and it's about to be hustle and bustle. And I get there and it's just him in his office, not even sitting at the counter, in his office on Hootsuite, programming social media posts. Because that was the real business. That was the real grift. Creating the illusion. Remember, I keep telling y'all, he gives the illusion of transparency. He gives the illusion of everything is great. He gives the illusion of he's so successful. He gives the illusion of he's a great a mastermind. He can give master classes. Now, he talks a good game. He's a grifter. He's a snake oil salesman. Of course he talks a good game. Look for the proof in the pudding. Besides the fact of him, grifting his audience. Now, the what has worked for him, like the devil has blessed him in this way, Satan, his real leader, in the sense of he has built a community that at this point can support him financially. So even if he doesn't sell to new people, he has at least a base to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Up and down, it depends, because once they kind of spent their money, nothing's happening. But that's why you see his and somebody just put Jackie put the whole Shopify thing. So you see his Shopify sales when he shows his graphs and stuff are flatlined, but then he creates some drama or something, discount code, and then you see it jump, it spikes. But other than that, normally it's just flatlining. He only gets that spike when he goes viral for the drama and stuff and creates the discount code, because some of them people love the drama. And then also through that, he'll get the eyeballs of new people who they don't know none of this, what we talking about. And then they see the drama, but he's such a snake oil salesman that if they give him 2 minutes of their ear and they don't know no better, they believe his version of what's happening. They're like, oh, he makes sense. Oh, and he's showing me this skillet that costs $100, not knowing that the skillet only costs him $9.99. And so they go ahead and buy the skillet and put it on the payment plan and everything else. So that's how his grift has worked. The thing is, he won't see the fame. Like I said, the fame, and the truth is, this eventually is going to completely catch up with him. It's only a matter of time. You can't live like this and never have karma. Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, Bernie Madoff. I can really go down a whole list if I think long enough. There's many examples of people who have made lots of money, and it appeared that because they were making the money that they were winning, so to speak, and then it all came tumbling down. Darius Cooks is going to have that same fate. I know that in my gut. Do you think that the Crooks is going to crash and burn? Do you think that Darius Cooks, I mean, that's my short way of saying, do you think this is all karma's gonna get him? This ain't gonna last forever. He's gonna crash and burn, and we don't get to watch it. It's gonna be the climactic finale of all of what we're covering. And then by the time it's done, Netflix, hey, Netflix, you need me. Y'all see, I got it. Or whoever else want to do a documentary. Hell, maybe I'll just do it by myself. Maybe we'll do it together. We raise some funds and we do it together. Y'all fund it. Y'all trust me to get it done. Do it justice. Tell this story. Who do we get to play him though? Put in the I'm so silly, but do it. Put in the chat if I create a movie, yeah, I think I prefer to do it like a movie, like independent film. Yes, K Sharp. I think I prefer to do like a movie. I mean, I want to do both. I do want to do a documentary, but I also want to do like made for TV kind of movie thing. Who do we hire to play Darius Cooks, the character? Who do we hire to play Darius Cooks? Put it in the chat. Do you think, the poll question I'm closing out, do you think that Darius Crooks, is going to crash and burn? Is karma going to come his way? Is the devil going to finally make him pay up for him being able to enjoy being able to call himself a millionaire for a few years? Is it going to happen? I think a couple of D-hacks have entered the chat because the number went down a little bit. But it's 96% of you are saying that you do think that he is going to reap what he sows. It's the law of nature. It's the law of attraction. It's bound to happen. I wouldn't play with nature and God like that. I would not play with it.
That's fine. What law I broke? Well, tell me what rule, what law did I break?
And that's all he cares about. What rule, what law did I break? The law of nature. The laws of God. Looking for my notes. Hold on. Don't rush me. I didn't even realize I was in the wrong notes because I don't never switch switch pages to different notes. I should have just put it at the tab at the top. I would have remembered. So I jumped ahead of myself a little bit. But just imagine, you know, we've talked about everything that he's been through, all the scamming. And I'm thinking most of you feel this way.
Send that to jail, period.
I love my sound bites. I know y'all can't take me. I know y'all can't take me. Okay, so now we're doing okay on time. I'm gonna be able to give y'all a little bit of this, retrospective. I'm trying to think. There's 3. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all the choice. Oh, Jesus, but it's gonna be hard for me to do it. I'm gonna have to just try to pay attention to the chat. So y'all got, because I'm gonna be able to do all 3. I got 3 things here. I have a walk down memory lane where I tell just short stories, because this is what he did last night. I'm thinking last night or within the past 24 hours. He went through his computer and went through photos of the people in Chicago, our crew, the crew that we had together, that I'm still friends with, and he is not. And then he told whatever stories. I didn't see it. I've seen him do it before, so I get the gist of it. He just repeats the same narrative to distract people from the fact that we're talking about literal scams with customer reviews and stories and all that. It's a distraction. What the fuck you talking? I'm sorry. Oops. What the F you sitting there talking about pictures of your friends for? What is that proving? Your old friends. What is that proving? People you no longer talk to. What does that have to do with this? Bait and switch, gaslighting. So anyway, I could tell a couple little quick stories. I only have those 2 pictures I pulled in. Real short story. So if you want me to tell the story on the pictures, you put pictures in the chat. Hold your votes. So if you want to hear about these, the origins of those, put pictures in the chat. If you prefer for me to read this dragging comment that someone placed on Facebook, I think it's very interesting. And I think they give I think they give a full kind of rundown of the origins of, y'all shouldn't be voting yet. I ain't gave y'all all the options. Y'all about to mess it up. Hold on. So it's the pictures or the dragging comment. So you can say drag. So pictures choice 1. Drag, choice 2. That's going to be the comment rather. And then number 3 is we do a review where I walk y'all through the Darius Cooks PSA when he claimed that I was dragging his ex-boyfriend Jerome and caused them to break up and all this lie. Y'all know it kind of went viral during that time where he was on screen crying and reading his letter and just saying that, you know, I had been creating drama in a relationship. So it's pictures, drag, or Jerome. Whichever one wins, that's what I'm gonna do first. The Jerome one to take all the rest of our time. I do know that because we're gonna do a little video with that. You ain't getting all of them. All of them wasn't a choice. I love y'all. Y'all so hard-headed, but I love y'all. Okay, I'm a probably it's gonna be. That's why I don't like doing polls. Like it's too hard to tell. Let me see. I'm seeing all of them, and I never gave her all as an option. Do this 1, 2, or 3. That's easier for me to kind of tell because the words is hard to see because y'all typing all kind of stuff. 1, 2, or 3. 1 is the pictures. 2 is the comment dragging. 3 is Jerome. Picture 1, 2, comment 3, Jerome. China 215 tells us 1 + 2 + 3 is 6. It looks like it's either 2 or 3. Ooh, Jesus. That 1 is not one. It's 2 or 3. I think. Can I do? Let me see how this poll works. Let me see. No, that ain't how that works. Okay, that ain't gonna work. They need to improve this poll where I can do multiple choice. I'm just gonna take a guess. Oh, Jesus. It's kind of hard to tell. It looked like 2, really. It's between 2 and 3, but it looked like 2s really have it. I'm gonna go with 2. We'll still, it's not like we'll never do the others, but I'm gonna just go with 2 because it looked like 2. Yeah, I'm seeing more 2s, I think. All right, so here we go. So this was an anonymous post on Facebook, and this person summed up Darius Cooks. And they said, Darius has a few tricks that he uses for his followers. One is talking about God, church, prayers, and giving everything the churchy spin, etc. Another is music. He will play the same tired 2 or 3 songs, Luther, Anita, and I forget the other one, or he will, that's Stevie Wonder. Help me out. Or he will talk about someone in the music business he wants to get close to. Tamar or the other Braxton sisters, Avery Sunshine, and his latest, PJ Morgan, just to name a few. Very true. His favorite is bullying because that's who he is. That is where he bullies, gossip, lies, and talks down to people and his followers. Join in because most of them are like Darius. Very true. Another is one, we are family. I love y'all, Darius. So yeah, he's always like, we're family, and I love y'all. And he gets off the his live and he's like, love y'all, talk to y'all in the morning, all of that. I'm gonna call y'all back. I'm gonna call y'all later, like they're in a relationship. It's love bombing. Darius knows most of his followers are single women of a certain age who are single, lonely, unhappy, and don't have much going on in their personal lives. So they convince themselves Darius is their gay best friend, son, nephew, and for the really desperate ones, Darius is their boyfriend, and they think they can turn him. I know it sounds crazy, but if you ever read some of those comments in his lives, you know what I'm talking about. Absolutely. I've screenshot a few where they're like, oh, Darius, I love you. Oh, I would come and get in bed with you. Or I remember this one that was just had my mind blown when I started to realize what was happening. You like my virtual boyfriend. I go to sleep with you. I wake up to you, and you greet me in the middle of my day. Ugh, that's scary. And he don't give a F about you. You disgust him. He talks about how women's parts disgust him. He don't know what to do with him. He don't want to touch him. He don't want to be around him. The next one is unhealthy Darius. Darius followers are mostly women, about 99.3 that I have seen are all overweight. There's some truth to that. This is where he pretends to be healthy, drink water, and exercise while secretly closet eating every and anything. Check his old videos. Darius used to go live on his step classes to impress his followers with his twirling skills. Laughing emoji. He also had a smoothie group, a keto group, a vegan group, a juicing group. Yes, he's had all this. And most recent, and they going into it. He's done a Peloton bike classes, and now he's claiming to do Peloton treadmill. Darius isn't serious about any of this stuff. That's why he grifts. That's why the grifts never last. Facts. They are running it down. Who are you, brilliant person? I feel like you're in my head. All of this is true. And don't forget, I don't know when this was. I can't remember how long ago I've grabbed this. And he has the now the adult toy group. And it's where they get in there and they talk and they rant raunchy, and he shares with them unnecessary details about what he does with his 3 inches when he wakes up in the morning or before he goes to bed. Showing pictures of him washing pocket rockets and what do they call them? Is it a pocket rocket? But washing the toys in the sink, showing pictures of that. Why you got to show pictures of that? But that's for those who want to be closer to him, taking pictures of himself really sweaty so that they could kind of imagine what it might be like if they were in the throes of passion with that. He also, okay, where was I? Darius isn't serious about any of that stuff, this stuff. That's why his grifts never last. It's all to gain new followers, which is why he always starts a new group. Facts. God, they are brilliant. Brilliant. And to keep his old followers engaged, it's all for a quick buck. Remember when he posted he was thinking about trying women? Y'all remember that one? No, good and well, he wasn't thinking about no woman. A few days later, he was selling Alibaba DICKs and washing them in the sink. Oh, yes, this is what I was saying. I didn't even know this is in here. He will also throw a masterclass for some quick cash, but we see how those go. Meaning people can't get in them. One of them I heard that he was actually doing from his bed. But people usually can't get in on the links. There'll be people who will be like, I paid, but I couldn't get on and he'll be like, oh, it's too many people in there. We didn't know. You got people paying for the class and you don't know how many people coming. And also that means that you didn't have the upgraded Zoom account that can handle that capacity. Because it ain't like you got 10,000. You got maybe 200 or 100 and something people. And then they just ish out of luck. Some of them know he's a grifter and they just think he ain't never scammed me before. And they go for it and then they get scammed. He's a grifter and he needs a new grift to pay his warehouse / apartment rent. That was when he was living in those Airbnbs and all of that. But that's that story. I think I'll just get to the comments. I'll put on another. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Go to your comments.
Send that to jail. Period.
Okay. We only have a few. That's good. That's good. I can get through this. I'll read this on the screen first. Brand O Soul is saying, is his toy line a flop? His toy line, when it first came out, I don't know, because you can't believe what he says. So he claims that it was doing well, but who really knows? He claimed that he had to stop, put it on pause, because the payment, I think it was Shopify he was using. He claimed that they don't allow adult toys to be sold through their platform. I don't know how true that is. I have zero idea. That was what he said. And then he spent a couple months trying to find a new payment processing company. He can't use PayPal because he screwed up with them years ago. And most of the other like known platforms he can't use because he screwed them over with, you know, being fraudulent, and then customers coming to them like, I need my money back, refunds, all that stuff. So now he has a new payment company that he just posted about last week, if I'm not mistaken. It was last week because it wasn't this week, I don't think. So he has a new payment company, and he claims that the line is coming, is ready to roll or whatever. So that's all I know. Okay, I'm gonna read the comments here, the start comments. Topaz Spivvy says he's scared by his childhood and punishes all Black women for it. He is a direct reflection of his actions. Yes, correct. It's definitely damage from his childhood. We do know, and we'll get in depth because he has like a blog post, not a blog post, but a blog. Well, yeah, I guess. But he has some blog posts where he literally describes his version of his childhood, etc. And you see that there are mommy issues there. He felt like his mom picked the men she was dating over him after his grandmother. Well, I think even when his grandmother was alive, etc. And so you see him acting out a lot of that. And then, you know, his stepfather, rather, he didn't get along with the stepfather. He claimed the stepfather was abusive to him. These were stories I heard, but now knowing what I know and knowing that he's forever the victim, etc., I'm starting to question some things. I met his stepfather. He seemed fine enough. Met his mom. His mom seemed sweet enough. Interacted with his mom a few times. Yeah, I don't know. I now question his version of it, whereas when I knew him, I just flat out just believed it and just was good with it. He does not communicate. And this should tell you something. He doesn't communicate with his mom. So fine, let's go with the version of your story with your mom. He doesn't communicate with the stepfather. The stepfather and mom are now divorced. But he also has a brother and sister, for those of you who don't know. And I'll see questions here or there. I saw one the other day after the live ended, where someone was asking questions about his family dynamic, and I didn't see it in time, so I couldn't answer. But for those of you who don't know, he does have two younger siblings who are they got to be in their late 20s by now. I think he was only, don't get me the line, but I think he was like 10 to 15 years older than them. I want to say more like 15, because he was like that age gap that make it where you guys aren't even really in the house together by the time they're born, kind of that. And so he was almost like a parental figure to a degree, although he just was not the kind of big brother that, you know, he could have been. So he doesn't talk to them. And his sister, I've seen her defend him actually as recently as last year, with people like reaching out to her, and she's like, don't reach out to me about my brother. Leave him alone, leave me alone, kind of stuff. I was a little shocked because I'm like, he acts like y'all don't exist. He a whole millionaire and y'all living in Milwaukee in the hood. It's like, okay. But his sister, when he blasted her in front of his hags on his IG lies, telling her personal business about her terminating a pregnancy, and he drug her for it. And they were flapping around, and I guess like it was okay. And then his brother, he said that he stopped talking to his brother because his brother asked him for $100. and he claims he gave his brother $100. I don't think he gave it to him because that's just how he rolls. But he says he gave his brother $100 and then blocked him and has never talked to his brother since. Younger brother. This ain't no older brother. This ain't no crackhead older brother. This is a younger brother. Why isn't your brother, okay, fine, he asking you for money, make him work for it. Why are you blocking him out of your life because he asked you for $100? And he said $100. $100. Not 100,000. Not even 1,000. $100. Would you, I know I love a good poll. Would you stop, I would say cut off a loved one for $100? Y'all know what I'm saying. So basically I'm saying, if you had a loved one or a friend who wasn't a crackhead, they ain't been stealing from you, ain't nothing crazy. They just, you know, I don't know, down on their luck or whatever. If they ask you for $100, would you cut them out of your life? Because he didn't describe a situation in which I've been giving him money all my life and he just won't stop and our relationship is purely financial. It wasn't that. It was like casual, like I even seen him say, and I think I have this one recorded, where he talks about he doesn't believe in helping a person up, like training a person. Like, let's say your siblings. Let's say you make it and your siblings have not made it, and you have lessons that you've learned along the way to get you to where you got to that you can pass along. He doesn't believe, he said this, I'm not making this up. He said he doesn't believe in passing along his knowledge. They have to do what he did to get the knowledge. So he doesn't believe in each generation raising the next up. He's the kind of Negro, and I've seen this, and he's the kind of Negro that climbs the ladder and then kicks it down behind him. So the next person can't come up on that same ladder, or they got to work to get the ladder, build it up all over again. That's the kind of Negro we talking about right here. But yet, he talks about how he loves Black businesses and want to support people. We never see it though. We'll see him every once in a while buy something from somebody. Like I saw this morning, he was buying some, what did he buy? Like some oil, some essential oils from a vendor in New York, and some lady in New York he buys glasses from. Negro, that don't make you some philanthropist. That makes you a consumer. You are a consumer. He was in, I thought it was so funny. He was in, remember y'all, a couple of weeks ago, I had showed that he had gotten approved for his Amex card, the platinum card, and he took pictures and bragged about it. He took pictures and bragged about it. And, you know, we were talking about just how ridiculous that was. But I could tell in the other lives I was starting to see, he was starting to buy stuff with it already, which to me pointed out, because we're talking about somebody who's a multi-millionaire. So he says, I was like, that's a real broke mentality. You just got your card and now you got to spend it. And so he goes to New York to some pizza place, and there was lines and all of that. And he had to wait, and he's too important to wait. So he decides that once he gets in the store, he's going to buy the food of everyone in front of him. Now, what I didn't catch till later, I think I saw it on Twitter or something. When I first heard about it, I literally thought he had bought everyone who was standing at that restaurant at that time, bought all their food, because I heard somebody yelling, he's buying everyone's food. So I was like, he's just showing off. Then you hear the person saying, treat that man special. He got an Amex card. So I'm like, he is loving this. And I'm like, this ninja then got him an Amex card, and now he's trying to buy people's food, buy his way to the front of a pizza line. But he didn't buy it for like the 15, 20 people that was out there. He bought it for the 3 or 4 people who was standing in front of him. I was like, he's still broke. But why you got to use your card like right away? Like, and stuff he normally wouldn't do. It's just craziness. Just a very broke mentality. A very I ain't never had nothing mentality. Sonny Blowdro is saying, I can't believe Darius is out here selling X toys. He would be the last thing on my mind during the Mr. Nasty time. Yeah, Mrs. Nasty time. Yes, absolutely, yes. I can't say too much about that. I could, but I ain't gonna say it over here. Patreon, I got some receipts I'm gonna show y'all that I ain't pulling over here on the YouTube side. Tomorrow, Patreon, for those of you who are a part of our Patreon community, we are doing our after party live after tomorrow's live stream Foolishness Friday. We will go straight into our after party. So see me over there. Y'all will see it in our thread over there on Patreon, the details and the link and all that good stuff. Lynetta says, how many scams does Darius Cooks have? Well, as I was saying on yesterday, Lynetta, and I'm thinking maybe you might not have been around. I know of 21 businesses. Let me double check because I think it might be a little higher. Let me double check. I'm looking on my computer now. Let me check my files. Let me see. Go here. Then we go to our Darius Crooks file. If y'all could see what I got here, I ain't gonna share my screen, but if y'all could see what I got here. Hold on. Let me go to the businesses because I got different categories of receipts. Okay, so we got that. I didn't mean to click on that one though. Then let me do a quick little count. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Hold on. Oh, it's 31. I'm sorry. I numbered them. After a while, I was like starting to lose count, and then I would have to check manually. And I said, well, let me just number. I got 31 here. 31 businesses. I'm sorry. I said 21. Forgive me. Oh my God, I'm lying to y'all. Oh my God, y'all ain't gonna trust nothing else I say. It's not 21 businesses, it's 31 businesses. I'm gonna read them real quick to y'all. Wait. Hold on. We're gonna do another poll. What time is it? I got 9 minutes. Do you want me to read the list of businesses slash scams? Scams before I go. Do y'all want me to go ahead and just read this list real quick to y'all? I'm gonna be done with the I'm not gonna read the rest of the comment. I really do want to get our heads close to the 2-hour mark as possible again, because we're coming back tomorrow, and I'm hungry now. Very hungry. I ain't ate all day. 91%. Okay, I know it is gonna adjust maybe a little bit, but let's go ahead and go for it. All right. So first, I need a good thumbnail that works with this reading, but let's see. We'll do here. Here's one of the exteriors of 2 of the businesses. So we'll keep it there. Actually, it housed more than the 2 that you visibly see because he was running other ones out of there with that address. So we have, sorry, my list is real chat. So we have first on the list, and I think I have them in order. Very close to being in order. No, I already see one that's out of order. No, maybe not. Okay, let's go for it. So we have the payroll company, Deluxe Payroll. I talked to y'all about Deluxe Payroll before. It was the fraudulent payroll company that it was Darius's first grift that I'm aware of. And he started this out of his bedroom in his house on Lake Street, another apartment he was evicted from. And I forget it, not Lake Street, Central Avenue. I didn't even count that in I told y'all it might have been 5 yesterday. I forgot about Central. Central it was here on when I met him. He got evicted from there. He moved in with me for like 2 weeks. Then he moved on Central. I think, pretty sure. And then I know he lived, I'm trying to think of the order. But that's where he created the Deluxe Payroll. He created it while he was working for, if I'm not mistaken, it was Sure Payroll. And they found out about it. He ended up getting fired. I can't go into summary of each one real quick. Give us 30 more minutes, please. I don't know. We got to see. Because this would, honestly, if I give a quick summary of each one, it will be 30 minutes. Let me see, y'all. What time is it? Okay, it wouldn't be too bad. Maybe. We'll see. I'm going to just keep going. We're going to see what happens. Then we got everyday cooking, not everyday cooking, but that was his YouTube channel. And as you saw there with the fake comment he did, it was basically the corporation that held the Cupcake Gallery, Uptown Pies, and all the other stuff he had. So that was the umbrella company, but also started out as his YouTube channel. And there's probably something else I'm not thinking of with that. Then we have Facebook, because Facebook is a business for him, that he does earn revenue from it. That was how he started originally building his base in order to build his scampire of flying monkeys. So Facebook is a part of it. You got YouTube. YouTube is revenue for him. So that's a business. That's part of it. Now he's utilizing YouTube to do his talking head videos here or there to spin the narrative on stories. I'm sure, you know, we'll see him at some point. Then you have, so I'll just do social media. So Instagram as well. We know he does the IG lives on Instagram. He makes money from going live and doing those lives on Instagram. And so that's another reason why he does it so incessantly. He loves the attention. That's number one, but it's also profitable for him as well. So he's making money off of those live streams. So he goes live no less than 2 to 3 times a day. That's on the low end. On a day when he really needs that to love bomb them because maybe somebody's airing out his Ponzi scheme, the multiple ones, he will love bomb them. He'll overdo it. Like he'll love bomb them so much that they don't have any time to look at what's happening around them because they're too focused on trying to catch him on live. That's all by design. I noticed that a lot. Then we got the Cupcake Gallery. We just talked about that today. There's more to it, but we gave an overview. Got the Cupcake Gallery cake mix. We talked about that. There's a scam and a Ponzi scheme component to that because he did have investors. I don't think he got nearly as, I know he didn't get nearly as many because word started to spread, but he was also supposed to do a local commercial. So he claimed. He told me, I think, to make sure, because I was interested, as you even can see from the picture that I was going to do a little story time about, you see me in the background right there with a camera in my hand. That was his video camera, but I was operating as the videographer. I've always been interested in this work. I've helped do documentaries and all of that before. And I've always looked for opportunities when I get a chance to do that. And so when he started talking about shooting a commercial for the Cupcake Gallery cupcake mix, again, it sounded a little far-fetched to me, but I'm like, oh, if he's doing a commercial, I wouldn't mind being there and seeing what happens. Supposedly he was going to a news station, etc., broadcast studio. And he was trying his best to make it where I couldn't attend or whatever. He was very sketchy about the details. And then he told me that it was going to air at 4 a.m. and that he had to be there for it. And so I think he was trying to make it where, oh, you ain't gonna want to come because it's too early in the morning. And I'm like, I don't mind. Like, I get up early in the morning. I got up at 4 a.m. to take his tail to the Food Network competition thing. I drove him downtown. He was auditioning for something with the Food Network. It was like the competition show or something. And we actually filmed the video in this house too. What I later saw was that he was just utilizing and using me where he saw fit. But he didn't want me in his business because then I would see what was really happening. It's very crazy. So then we have, let me see, we did Cupcake Gallery. Then we have Local Holla. Local Holla. No, it was Local Holla. Local Holla. Local Holla was supposed to be like a Groupon of sorts. But the difference was it was supposed to be primarily for Black businesses. You see in the trend here where he likes to capitalize off of Black businesses, but not really help them, but just capitalize off them. So we had that never, as you saw the guy comment, what happened to Local Holla never came to fruition. All I remember, again, that was over 10 years ago, but the conversation I do remember is that he claimed to have like 2 or 3 businesses. It was a cleaning business and something else. And he claimed that they were interested. And he claimed for me, he was saying it's all coming together. It's all working out, blah, blah, blah. Again, I wasn't his business partner with that. I didn't care. I got my own life. I'm just a friend asking questions, being supportive, like, good job. And how's that going? Oh, you know, maybe here's this resource, blah, blah, blah. It was that. I didn't really care. Then we have the lunch machine. I'm on number 8. I'm on business number 8. The lunch machine. That was the business that we had together. I've kind of given an overview on that, so I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm gonna also do a very deep dive on that. Then we have, I actually need to change this name because I just put it as, because I couldn't remember the name of the business. It is the Sugar Whip. The Sugar Whip food truck. I just knew it was another food truck that he had rebranded our truck to. So again, oops, man, made it go out of order. But the lunch machine was our business, was our truck, a truck we purchased together. My money went into that truck. We all went, it was 3 of us. We went to go pick up the truck. I didn't want my name on it because I knew he was irresponsible. Look at who we're talking about. Do you blame me for not wanting my name on that title? Because I didn't want tickets and whatever else happened to be on me. And so now looking back, because we didn't talk about it in advance, it should have just went in the business name only. I thought it was going to be Darius and the other business partner, but the other business partner did the same thing I did. We both kind of stepped back when it was time to sign the document at the dealership. So now Darius Cooks tries to present the story like he just outright owned the truck. Yes, legally, technically he did, but it was property of the business. So I got burned in a way, but I got saved in a way as well. Because I still feel like I ended up with a ticket from that damn food truck that it was easy for me to fight because I wasn't technically on it. It was a whole thing. And he had plenty of tickets because I remember when I would go up there and his car, like he had his cars impounded and all of that. I just knew he was bad with that stuff. I knew he was bad. And remember at that point, we're talking about someone who I had known since they were 19. And in that time, from the age of 19 till when all this went down, maybe he was 27, 28, something like that. He had been evicted from 5 places, 4 to 5 for sure. That was why I didn't want my name on that truck. Can you blame me? But he was able to then sell it from up under us because of that. Like, fast forward, who knew he was scamming us the whole time? Lesson learned. Then you have Uptown Pies. We just talked about that briefly. Then we have the infamous Fresh Go online grocery delivery store. This is number 9 we're on. You know what? I got like 9. I got like 6 and 6A. So it's actually like 32 businesses. Because technically the Cupcake Gallery and the Cupcake Gallery Mix are 2 different businesses. But I labeled them as 6 and 6A. I did the same thing with another one. So now we're at 33. Oh, and I did another. So now we're at 34. It's 34 businesses. I need to fix this. This was me just filing away. This wasn't. Uh-oh. Somebody muted me. Hold on. Oh, no, they didn't. They're saying I got muted by somebody. Anyway, so Uptown Pies we did. Okay, Fresh Go. We know about that. I talked about it. It's in a video. If you aren't familiar, go check. It's in the video, but it was online grocery delivery, supposed to be like a Peapod, all just a fake website, basically. He delivered, again, like every Ponzi scheme, a few people did get groceries. People were getting incomplete things. He charged their cards multiple times. There were hundreds of people. I got to find it. I know I had it. I think I showed it too in a video. So I'll find it. Hundreds of people complaining about, yeah, I did. I did a whole deep dive on it. But it wasn't live. It's different when I do it live now. The content feels different. Plus, I need to revisit everything for all the hundreds and thousands of people who ain't never seen the other stuff. I'm aware of that now. So anyway, moving on. Then we have OVO record label. # Drake. So this one's interesting. I've never talked about this one publicly. Behind the scenes, I've had a couple conversations. So this one, slightly speculatory, slightly based on what we know. And I'm not going to deep dive because I'm sitting here clicking on images, about to go in there. I'm not going in there. We're doing an overview. It is rumored that when he escaped to New York from Chicago after doing the Fresh Go scam, when he did the Fresh Go scam, y'all, scammed all them hundreds of people, he ran off to New York. The rumor is there was not, this part ain't a rumor, it's factual, that there was a Darius Williams in New York who was scamming artists. Hold on, I messed my window up with y'all on it. I had to open it up so I could read it and refresh my mind a little bit. Here we go. Where did it go? Hold on. Here it is. Don't run away from it. Hold on. So, Uvo Sound and the Darius Williams scam alert. So they put out an alert in New York that Darius Williams is on the loose, folks. An internet cowboy claiming to work for Drake's new label, Uvo Sound. Williams has been sending out PDF documents en masse claiming to accept artists to Uvo label for a fee of $2,500. This person says, I received a new email this morning from an artist who has been ripped off. And then there were multiple artists who were ripped off. Unfortunately, they were also like young people. So do we have a picture of him? No. The name is the same. The fact of, scamming ways, very familiar. So I'm going to ask, do you, and that's another reason why I held on to this story so long. I have others. But I held on to this story so long because I was waiting to get some like solid proof. But one of the people in the coalition actually did talk to a guy connected, I think, to Uvo Sound, because that's how they had to shut it down. And he was verifying that it was the same Darius. But y'all know I like to operate in like tangible receipts. And I needed like an email with his name in it or with his email address or something. And that I haven't been able to get, but I got this. So do you believe that this was Crooks, meaning Darius Cooks? Do you believe that what I just described, this scenario, is Darius Cooks? Y'all already got me 6 minutes over. See, when I burn out and then I'll be taking a whole week or 2 or 3 or 4 off, y'all gonna be like, we should have let him leave when he was trying to leave. I'm hanging in there though. Okay, where did it go? I keep losing my windows because I got too many open. Let me just move this out the way. I don't need my notes no more. Okay, coming back to it. So again, I hear a lot of stuff. So I don't just spout out everything that I hear. I like to, because what I don't want to do is give misinformation, because when you do that, then it starts to make people question all the other stuff you're saying that is purely 100% legitimate. So because again, I couldn't, and I got more receipts than what I just read to you. I was just giving you a quick overview. So I'm going to talk about it, but I can't 100% verify it. But the person's name, Darius, the person who from New York, and this was as of 2021, verified and said, no, it's the same Darius. Y'all saying 93% of y'all saying y'all believe it's the same Darius. I don't know for a fact. I will only say I know for a fact what I know for a fact. I don't know that for a fact. Then we have the Black Food Network. The Black Food Network was Darius Cooks' take on the Food Network, because by then he had gotten disbarred from the Food Network, and all his hopes and dreams of ever being on that network were crushed because of the fact that he tried to scam Sonny. He didn't get away with that. She didn't fall for it. But he drugged her, and he tried to do a scam period through using their platform. So they booted him from the Food Network, and he lost all opportunities to please ever. I'm reading a comment and read. Y'all don't know how much multitasking I be doing. My brain literally read out loud what I'm thinking. But so what he did was he created a collaborative of up and coming influencers, chef and cook influencers, and he would have them on his YouTube. I think he created a whole different YouTube channel for it. And his goal was, okay, I'm gonna put that in there. Let me do it now. I'm gonna leave that up there so I can copy what it says while I'm talking. I told you I got a lot of them. I don't know. People just think I'm over here. I know that's the narrative that crooks want to paint. I'm like trying to look over my microphone if y'all can't tell. So it slows my typing down. Okay, do you think I didn't even check my, but anyway, y'all know what it's saying. Do you think that Vail should pitch this info to Netflix? So he creates this collaborative with up-and-coming chef influencers. There were upwards of 8 or so of them, if I'm not mistaken, that he was able to get. This was the grift, though. What he was doing was getting people that he felt was talented and then stealing their intellectual property, their skills, their gifts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And because he does not play well in the sandbox, he literally has said this himself. It is very true. That is how we fell out after 9 years of friendship. That is how we fell out over a business deal. That didn't mean nothing to me. It wasn't like I was like, oh, that was my dream and you ruined it to run a food truck. Hell no. I was just like, you stole my money. Give my money back. We good. Never got it. Well, I've gotten it now through this. So thank you. I mean, you created this, Crooks. Karma. I didn't plan this. I didn't know I would ever be a YouTuber back then, especially. You saw what I was doing. This is the thing. I chuckle about this a little bit. And I said, God works in mysterious ways. Because this is the veil that Darius left behind. In his words, left behind. The one who stays behind the camera. The one who doesn't want the attention on them. The one who just wants to is a giver and just wants to give and aid and help people. The one who always suppressed his gifts so that other people could shine. Fast forward, this Negro got a whole channel. Me. Veil B. Got a whole goddamn YouTube channel and 7 platforms. I got them listed over here, so I don't be forgetting. 7 platforms and hundreds of thousands, well, at least 100,000 plus people across the world who pay attention to what he got to say. The scammer wasn't expecting that. He thought he had just got one of his victims who was quiet and wouldn't care about nothing or just would move on with his life quietly, which is what I did for 10 years. But God was stirring something up in me and he was like, no, there's more for you. Quit. I'm a teacher. I'm going to keep having you go through this hard time every time you try to just fall to the back and get behind somebody and just help them. That I got another plan for you. Ta-da! Here I am. And I ain't going nowhere no time soon. Crooks. I was looking for this. Roach body. Delayed my dramatics because I couldn't find it. Oops. I didn't mean to click that. 3 inches of sadness. All right, continuing. So the other thing with this, the Black Food Network. Now, this is a good story that I'm going to get into. I got the list of people who were part of it. There was this guy who was attractive. This is back when Darius Cooks looked like this. So there's a guy, another black guy, Cook. Women loved him. He was getting the attention. People weren't paying no attention to 3 inches of sadness, the sissy, because he called himself a sissy. And the guy was getting too much attention and he was talented and stuff. So Darius ruined that relationship. And there was other people. So fast forwarding, the one y'all know, this is the crazy part. That's why you should always be careful who you step on your way up, because you never know who you're going to see when you get there or who you're going to need when you get there. So guess who was a part of this collaborative that y'all know? If you don't, put it in the chat. Guess what chef influencer who is very popular now is actually on TV as well. I think she's on a competition show and everything. There's a female, a lady. Some of y'all know. Y'all hesitate to put it in there, but some of y'all know. The other person who was a part of that collaborative was, there you go, Charles Stevens, Danny Rose, aka Stovetop Kisses. I don't have her picture handy. Not Tab, y'all, but Stovetop Kisses was a part of that collaborative. So they met each other through that. They were working together through that. She made her center treats for him. He fell in love with it. He was like, oh my God, this is so good. Then he decided, because she was selling them from out of her house, and he decided he wanted to help her because he had a bigger following than she had. and supposedly this business acclimate, because I'm sure he's telling the story of all these successful businesses he had in Chicago. What he's not saying is all of them floundered and he had to run from Chicago because he scammed hundreds of people. That's the part of the story he leaves out still to this day. So she gets in business with him for him to supposedly help her scale and all of this. What he does instead is steals the business from up under her. He trademarks the brand while she's away taking care of her father who was ailing. She had to leave Atlanta and go wherever where her father was. She spent a few weeks there, a month or whatever, to help her father get nursed back to health. Thank you so much, Sonia Charlie, for putting the name. See, I'm not making this up. Sonia Charlie says it's Danny, Keith, and Miko. And I feel like it was another, because I actually talked to someone too who's not a name. And they gave me the whole rundown. This was like over a year ago. I got the whole call recorded. They allowed me to record the call and everything. I don't play with this information, y'all. Don't think because I'm quiet over here. I'm an Aries. Don't think because I'm quiet ain't nothing happening. So he trademarked the business, stole her business from her. She had taught him unknowingly. That's what I'm saying. Corey Brimes, the bartender guy, and what did y'all say? His name is Jeremy, the Cake King. They don't know this stuff. Well, they may know, and they may just think it'll never happen to them. So he learned her recipe. He copied it. He had center treats. Now she's no longer part. At first he went to his hags and he recreated the narrative around it. Some of them read through it, and some people stopped following him around them, but others just they in love with him. It's just whatever it was for them. So long story short, she was very upset about it, rightfully so, etc. One thing he didn't learn that she never taught him was how she made her icing. And that was the key ingredient, the flavor of the icing. So he tried his best to recreate it and never could. So he started shipping out the Santa Cruz treats and people were ordering. They didn't know no better, but people were getting them. And guess what? They were dry. They were packaged poorly. The packaging was coming open. People were complaining about the packaging. People were saying the flavor had changed. He could never get that icing right. He started going to Sam's Club and buying commercial, ready-made icing. It just wasn't doing it. The pictures that people have them, I have them. The pictures that people were taking of them looked like vomit, looked like cake vomit with strawberry drizzle on it or something. So he tried to do that to her, and that business floundered. She then started her another version of it and tried that for a while, but your heart ain't in it after somebody does that to you. And she trusted him. Still to this day, again, I'm only number 11 of 34. I told you. Why y'all do this to me? Still to this day, Danny Rose will not talk about it. Please do not DM her about this or anything like that. She will not talk about this. Another piece connected to this is that I don't know how many of y'all seen Kev on stage denounce Darius Cooks. Did you see, poll question, did you see Kev denounce Crooks? Now my spelling off. Denounce. There we go. Y'all be having me up late, and then I've been writing all day and doing stuff, and then y'all want me to be spelling to y'all in these polls. Jesus, y'all give me a break. Did you hear or see the video of Kev on stage? Again, I don't have to pitch his hand because this wasn't the content we was doing tonight. I ain't pulled it. But Kev on stage, if you know who he is, he's an internet, he's a comedian, internet influencer, et cetera, et cetera. He does these little funny clips and all that. He denounced 62% of you have not seen it. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is why I have to do what I'm doing. I've come to that full realization. and also that I need to do this as many times a week as I can possibly deal with, because it's a lot. Like mentally, it's just a lot with this foolishness. But anyway, in 2021, Kev on Stage took to his social media. It's actually on my Facebook, and I did a video on it too. Go to the Darius Cooks, Surviving Darius Cooks playlist. I think it's in there. But he denounced and said, because he had Darius Cooks on his channel, he had this series he was doing, Ask A. So ask a millionaire, ask an entrepreneur, ask a, ask a police. And so it was a series called Ask A, and Darius was on there for the Ask a Millionaire segment. Darius gets on there. He's bragging about all these business ventures and how he runs his social media and how rich he is, and the restaurants were open at the time, et cetera, et cetera. He's so perfect. He got it all figured out. And then social media got wind of it. And this is after all the fraudulent stuff started coming out about Darius when it hit the fan. People started saying, how dare you promote him, Kev, blah, 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 this and that. Kev was like, I don't want no parts of this. I apologize because I did not vet him. This is a lesson learned for me. I just took him at his word. I knew he had the restaurant. He claimed to be a millionaire. I had him on the show. I did not know his scamming allegations, et cetera, et cetera. Kev immediately pulled down the video. And I still have it. But Kev, so you can see it over here. But Kev pulled down the video and then went on to his social media and literally said, I denounced Darius Williams, Darius Cooks. I want nothing to do with him. I did not know. I should have did a better job vetting him. In addition, after these allegations came out, I talked with my friend, Danny Rose, aka Stovetop to Kisses, and she told me of her experience with Darius Cooks and all that went on with that. And he was shocked, dismayed, etc. And he said she, however, didn't want him to speak on it. She just didn't want to talk about it no more. And that's why she had never shared it with him prior to that. He didn't know. Once he found out, he like, oh, nah. And you F with my friend? Before they were friends, before he knew of her, before they knew of each other. So long story short, he denounced Darius Cooks. Darius Cooks took to his IG Live because Darius Cooks is a fangirl. Again, I got a person I know who is a person of note, a person who's a public figure that many of you know. And Darius Cooks hit that person up in their DM saying, hey, I didn't know you followed me. Oh, I love your work, blah, blah, blah. Trying to like smooth with them. And they left you on red. Because how you gonna think you're gonna F with somebody who is as close to me as that person is? And you think they're gonna F with you? You are an idiot. You are an idiot. You made a fool of yourself. And not once, but then like a whole year later, I think it was recently, because I think that's why they sent it to me. He did it again. He's a fangirl. He's a clout chaser. But the comment I read, the person who drug him, they mentioned that in there. He's a clout chaser. He want to be attached to somebody who's, famous, on and popping. So anyway, he took to his Crooks, took to his Instagram. I mean, his IG Lives. He's on there that morning, commuting somewhere. This Negro crying because Kev on Stage then dumped him as a friend. He had tears coming down his face. I don't know. He's betrayed me. I don't know. I don't get it. Negro, you can't treat people like that and think that there's no consequences. Always playing the victim. See, I ain't expect nothing like that from Kev. What? He's an honorable man. He did what he should do. Cut Satan loose. Okay, I gotta move on. What are y'all doing to me? Okay, then we have the cookbooks. So we know about the cookbook scam. People don't get them. He overcharges for shipping. He will only ship through the United States Post Office, although there are better options that will be more efficient. He will not do that for various reasons. We'll talk about that in the future. Then there's the Shop Darius TV, his T-shirts, that scam that he had. Oh, well, the people are getting the T-shirts because it's drop shipment. But he uses them as a way to, it's kind of like chump change that comes in for him, but he also uses it as a way to harass people, to cyberbullying by creating taglines, etc. And then the flying monkey's like, oh, I want to buy, you should create a Velnito t-shirt since he's talking about you. And then he'll go do it, and then they buy, you know, a couple hundred t-shirts. We talked about Center Treats. See, that was coming up. So Center Treats. So again, Danny Rose was a part of the Black Food Network. He got her there. Then he got her in the sense of bad treatment, you know, stealing her concept, all of that. That's what was happening there. He was grooming her. He was being a predator in the Black Food Network business. And then in the Center Treats part of it is when he struck, dug his fangs into her, gave her his poison so that he could then, you know, damage her. How many of you did you see the Kev on Stage denounce Crooks? 56% of you said no, so the majority of you. This next one is, did you know that Crooks had a comedy CD? I was gonna say album, but CD or album. Did you know that Darius Cooks considered himself at a point to be a comedian? Did you know that he actually has, and I have it here. I don't have the actual audio of it. I've never gotten my hands on that, but I don't have the actual audio of it. But he had a literally a comedy album. Yes. If you don't, I don't know how many of you follow him for a very long time, but one of the first things I know, Precious, it's too much. That's why I'll be telling y'all this is a lot. And when I tell y'all that this is a lot and I need time and I got to research and I got to pull stuff, that's because of all this ish. It's not like I got like one little small file. I have 40 something terabytes on my computer, well, external drives, and then another program, software, or website, online, like remote based, that I have other stuff stored in. It's a lot. Because like now I clicked on it. I don't even see the image of the comedy album, and I know I have it, so it's somewhere. It should have been here, but it's somewhere. I hope I didn't accidentally save over it, but I'll be able to find that again. But anyway, so he had the comedy album. So one of the first times he went viral, this shows you he's a true grifter. Who do you know who has, and I understand being a serial entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. My businesses aren't in the teens, and they're not all over the place either. All my stuff ties into the work that I do or did at some point. It's all real estate, construction, and education. All of my stuff. Well, and the one little odd thing is the food truck, but that was due to trying to be a friend to the 3 Inches of Sadness. Because otherwise I wouldn't have did that. I had no interest on my own. So one of the first times he went viral was his Pray the Fat Away, where he did like, he was laying in the bed shirtless as usual, and he put on the voice changer, and he had like a little Minnie Mouse kind of voice, and he did a praying the fat away. Lord, please make me skinny. Please make me not crave the ham hocks and blah, 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 and all that. And so he went on and went on and went on. It was like 5 or 6 minutes. I know that he got, again, he's the blueprint, but he ain't ish original about him. I ain't seen yet. That prayer came from his friend Eric and that crew. They used to do that stuff while we were at dinner. Again, that's why I stopped hanging out with them, because imagine being at a restaurant and people doing all that. So he was doing that. They were doing that, and he stole that from them. And then, and a lot of stuff. Bow your head and say grace. Grace stole it from them. Nothing's original, but people don't know them. They don't know these, queens from the west side of Chicago. They only know him. And so it seems like his original idea or her original idea. It's not. Moving on. God damn it. Y'all got me into 15A. I got 15 was the comedy album, and 15A is the masterclass. So the person mentioned that in the chat, in that comment I read as well. The masterclass is the grift that every time he creates this drama or whatever, and people are paying attention, he gets the new eyes on him. And then he claims he's made all these hundreds of thousands, and now he's raised the numbers to the mill. I made $2 million this weekend. All that foolishness. People are like, oh my God, he's so great. He turns everything into money. I want to learn from him. All of that. And so then he does the masterclass as his grift to get them. One of them was Unstoppable. I actually did I pull it in? I forgot to pull all kind of stuff in because let me put it up here. I might as well because I'm talking about it. Yeah, let me pull it in real quick because it's already in the file for tonight's live. I just did not pull it into StreamYard, but the computer's taking all day. So he had one here that I'm looking at. It says 7 streams of 5-figure live stream. So he's talking about how to have 5 streams of income. He did one how to make bread out of beef or something, where he talked about how you can have an internet beef and make money from it. I think this is the one here that I'm pulling in. It's coming. This one, Unstoppable: How to Create a Winning Brand When Everyone Wants You to Lose. Y'all see this shit? Y'all see this shit? Here's what we'll cover. Mindset matters more than you think. Writer's block. Learn to write in blocks. Plug and play. Autopilot your content. Banking on beef. 6 figures a month. So basically create drama and make money off of it, which is what he's been doing. So that's the other grift. Then we have the infamous Dining with Darius Cooks, aka Dining with Diarrhea fan club parties. That's what I coined it. I know it's long, but it's very fitting. Dining with Diarrhea fan club parties, because it ain't about the food. We've talked about that a lot. Well, we've talked about it a lot, but I'm doing a deep dive on that. I think the Dining with Diarrhea fan club event content, when we get to this, because I was actually scheduling out some of this. He says how to autopilot your content. I'm working on that slowly because I got to get better with that, so it's more consistently coming out. But anyway, I was working on the schedule, and as I was kind of thinking through when I get to this Dining with Diarrhea fan club events, I'm probably going to need 3 to 4 days to cover this with y'all. Just as I was going through my archive of stuff, I was like, it's so much. It's the event itself. It's the photos of the food, the horrendous food. It's the videos that I have of it. But it's the hundreds of comments and the scams and the BBB complaints and all of that. And so it's gonna be quite a bit. And the evolution of it, the history of it even. This one, let me close this poll out. Did you know that Darius Cooks had a comedy CD? 91% of you did not know this. This is why I'm here. This is why you should be subscribing. If you are not subscribed, this is why you subscribe. Because I'm just getting started. Did you know? I mean, in general, not tonight. Tonight, I am just getting started too. And I blame y'all. God damn it, we're going to hit 3 hours. I'm on number 17. Damn it. Because I can't stop. Y'all know I can't stop. Y'all did this on purpose. Because you know when I get started, I can't stop because I don't want to cut y'all short on the information y'all don't know. Anyway, did you know that Crooks hosted cruises? Did you know that Darius Cooks also had D-Hive family reunion cruises? Again, I ain't got the image handy. Lord knows I want to drag this over here real quick. I can't because this thing make everything complicated. Did you know that Darius Cooks had D-Hive family reunion cruises? This might have been one of them. Might have been one of the first ones. Who knows? No, I think this might be a cruise I went on with him, but I can't remember 100%. I feel like it might have been. I feel like I might have been there because I kind of remember him doing silly-ish like this. I might have been there for that. But anyway, 76% of you are saying that you did not know. Again, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Make sure you're hitting subscribe. Make sure you're like, let me see what these likes looking like. The likes should be pretty good by now, though. Y'all been on here all night. Oh, no, they not good enough. I'm seeing 336 people in here and only 268 likes. And guess what just happened? I stopped talking until we get the likes at 300 because I'm doing a lot and I'm working overtime. I'm 35 minutes over my time, working hard, digging through the crates, telling y'all stuff I ain't said before, throat hurting, hungry. And all I need is some likes to show that y'all appreciate all of this hard work. Hours and days and weeks and months and years I've been working on this stuff and pulling this together and trying to organize. I'm still way behind. And my likes all low. And it's free. All right, we need 10 more. We had 290. And it's 330 of y'all in here. I appreciate y'all. Y'all doing it quick today. Y'all was giving Velnito a little hard time on Friday. Today, y'all like, oh, we know we ain't playing. Velnito had a conversation with me. He was like, Vel, you got to be a little more stern because you work hard. And he knows that. We need 7 more. I don't know. It just stopped at 293. I don't know what that's about. Okay, 294. We lost the person though. Somebody left the viewer. They might be ready for bed. It's late. 96, 296. Ooh, we lost the like, y'all. Some people don't like this, but I don't care because I'm working. This is the job. We're at 295. I mean, we can just end the live because I'd rather do that than to keep holding on when I'm hungry and tired and stuff. And all right, we gained 296. 97. Just when I was complimenting y'all, then all of a sudden, okay, 301. There we go. It just jumped. Thank you. I appreciate all of you for liking, and those of you who have subscribed. I greatly appreciate your support of my channel and my content, and realizing that this is work. I appreciate you. Okay, did you know that Darius Cooks hosted cruises? 77% of you said no. I had a flyer here. I'll show you one day. Again, this is all a part of the list. I told you I was going to work through each business. We still going to work through it because I'm giving y'all a quick little overview. The cruise was a effing fiasco. He had a travel agent, and like everything else, the travel agent did the first year. Darius Cooks felt like he could do the second year on his own because he realized the money that the travel agent had made that first year. So he calls himself trying to organize the second year. Well, guess what happened? People were complaining that their rooms weren't actually booked when they would call the cruise line. Darius had got their deposits, but he wasn't paying the cruise line. He was delaying on getting their rooms. It was just a cluster F, a complete cluster F. It's been a long time, so I can't remember details off the top of my head on the fly like this, but I got the information. So know that it was another grift. After that second year, when it was just a complete fiasco, he hadn't done it since. He was basically saying it's a choice of his, but it was because it was such a mess, is why it didn't happen. And whatever else, I can't remember off the top of my head. Then we have Greens and Gravy, his first restaurant in Atlanta. And we know that eventually, well, for one, it got horrible reviews and was nasty. Actually, when we review that, I'll even play the various video and audio clips from past employees, including Christy, who was not Crystal, now his Crystal that's still around, but Christy, who was a friend from Chicago, who is still friend with his other friends, but Darius and her don't F with each other no more. But anyway, she came from Chicago to help save his restaurant, and she did so. And it was, doing well and getting accolades in the community and all of that stuff. And he ended up firing her. It's the whole thing. Out of jealousy, because she wanted to have other things going on in her life besides placating to him and having her life revolve around Darius, but that's how he likes it. So we know that. And then eventually they were failing health inspections. Lights got turned off one day during business hours, and the manager had to send everyone home because the light bill was $25,000. I think it was. Was it 25? Something like that. 12 or 25,000. I got it. I got a dig. And he wasn't paying the bill. And she said she was actually buying, this manager, not Chrissy, but another manager was saying like he wasn't supporting the restaurant, and she would be buying supplies and stuff to keep things going. They were failing health inspections left and right, et cetera, et cetera. But eventually we know that the state of Georgia took that business license because of the fraudulent above 701 credit repair. We ain't even got to that one yet. Then we got Soul Crab Atlanta, similar circumstances. Then we got Soul Crab Chicago, similar circumstances, with the exception of the state of Georgia did not take that business license. However, it had definitely health inspection issues and was a poorly ran restaurant. They ran out of food. I don't know if Donna Hammond is in the chat today. I just can't remember if I saw Donna's name, but Donna Hammond tried to visit the restaurant. She had drove, I want to say about 40 minutes, she said, got to the restaurant, you know, trying to support, excited, sign on the door that they ran out of food. What restaurant run out of food? Not we ran out of crab cakes or we ran out of biscuits, but we ain't got no food. But it's so well ran. And he running around the USA reviewing other black businesses and talking about a plate that's not perfectly clean, or a mac and cheese that's not to his taste buds. Yes, brand sold $25K for an overdue light bill. Damn, exactly. That means he wasn't paying that bill for months. You know that. Like, that means he wasn't paying that bill. Probably hadn't paid it since he rented the place. The other thing about Soul Crab Chicago to know is that he also was sued by the landlord. So when it shut down, he just, like he's done everything else, he did it. I didn't mention that for the Cupcake Gallery, at least for today. He just walked away from the Cupcake Gallery. Like when he disappeared on us, there was no going out of business situation. There was no sign on the bit, because I went by it when he disappeared. I went by the business, the Cupcake Gallery, to be like, what's happening? Where is he? Because now I knew he was gone because he lived in the building of one of my good friends, two of them. And so they were like, he done dipped. And the roommate, I knew the roommate. I knew we were all just like family, like brothers. So I knew what had happened. So I went up there up there to see, like, did he sell everything? Is there newspaper on the window? No. That business, when I went up there, when he had escaped and ran off to New York City, when he escaped and ran off to New York City, that damn restaurant, whatever you want to call it, storefront bakery, looked just like that. Curtains was still up. Appliances was still in there. I don't know, some of you who got experience with restaurant business and all of that know that you rent that equipment. So you don't just leave it. And I know that he rented. There was a couple things that were there. I knew so much. There were a couple things, like the stove was there because it used to be a restaurant. It was there, but the fridges he had to rent. Tables, chairs, all that stuff, just there. Like it looked like he left for the day and never came back. Oh, and Soul Crab Chicago, the landlord was suing him because, again, he just walked away from that business. Landlord, and it came up, in 2021. The landlord was suing him for $50-something thousand. And he ended up having court dates that we were following. All of a sudden, it just fell off my radar and people stopped talking about it. So I'm not sure. Last I knew, there was a continuation to another date. Darius was never showing up like he does. He just sends his attorneys. He never shows up if he can avoid it. And so he wasn't on the Zoom call that we did watch. They continued his attorney seemed incompetent, just like the one he had in Atlanta for the TPO hearing. And then he claims that he has these amazing lawyers, but people who see him in real life can see quite the opposite. And I'm one of those people. And so I don't know what happened with the lawsuit. By the time I get to that story, I'll try to dig up. If any of you know, please let me know, inbox me or something. Then we have, I ain't done. We're on 20A. That was number 20. We are now on 20A. I have no idea why I was doing 20 and 20A because this business ain't related. So then we have candles. Darius was selling candles in the very beginning, like around the comedy album time, before the restaurants and all of that. He was trying to find the grifts where he could do like e-commerce. I haven't even gotten to this other one yet, right? Yeah, I want to go ahead. So there's another. So he was trying different e-commerce things, and selling candles was one of them. So that was a business. There's comments on that. I'll go into depth. But again, it's going, like I told y'all yesterday, some of them will be like 5, maybe 10 minutes of an overview. Some of them are going to be 3, 4, 5 days. It's just the nature of the grift. It's the nature of the grift. I bet Crooks is enjoying this. Then we have the infamous Above 701 Credit Repair Company. Many of you have heard about the Above 701 Credit Repair scam. It is a scam because the state of Georgia said it was a scam. Have you heard of the Above 701 scam? I can't believe y'all got me going, but I cannot stop. We got to finish it. I just got to deal with it. Maybe we'll just do a longer live. Maybe I'll do it earlier. Maybe I'll get on earlier and keep it all as one versus going on twice. I'll figure it out in the morning. Have you heard of the Above 701 scam? It's looking like the majority of you have. So I don't need to dig too deep, but we know that this is where he created, and I have some stuff. I got promotional videos he was doing and everything, y'all. It's good. Oh, it's good. It's good. Oh, it's so good. Y'all know I do y'all. Y'all know I do right by y'all. Y'all know that. And when I get to this story, I'm gonna do right by y'all as you. I got the damn judgment, the whole complaint, the final judgment. That's oops, I didn't mean to. Well, I did mean to click on it, but I didn't mean to make my screen disappear. Hold on, I gotta see y'all. It is 19 pages. And I've just been trying to figure out exactly the approach because I don't want to just read the complaint. I want to give the whole story and the origins and show clips and show pictures and show complaints and show da-da-da and Better Business Builder and this and that and that and da-da-da. And so we're going to work through it. Then we have the cookware line. We know about this. We know about Skillet Gate. When people were ordering skillets, took them about a year to get them. And then now we know he's rolling out all these other variations. I'm hearing that he's copying off of other influencers. I think they said Kimmy Creations he's copying off because I guess she sells cookware too, and she has like this gold cookware line. Now all of a sudden he's doing a gold cookware line. But again, he's the blueprint of thievery. Then we have the vendor scams. And so I just summarized the vendor scams and treated it as one because that's the way that I'll cover it, where it'll just be a summary of all of them at once. So one of them is Eventbrite. He used Eventbrite initially for Dining with Darius, Dining with Diarrhea fan club parties, aka Dining with Darius Crooks. Deborah, you keep us fed. Yes, y'all gonna be really hefty around here by the time I'm done. So the Eventbrite thing was he had the Dining with Darius events. That's how he used to book them through. Because people may wonder, like, why does he book these things the way he does through his website, but then you don't get the instructions or the locations, and then there's all these issues about refunds and people are confused about this or that. He did have a better system. He used Eventbrite. Many of us who've used Eventbrite either as a consumer or as a user who was hosting events, I've done both sides, know that it is extremely convenient. It's all self-contained. They got all the analytics and all of that. He can't use it anymore because when he had the Dining with Darius it might have been 2016. I could have had the years wrong, but the earlier years, he ended up canceling like a whole few months of them and did not return the people's money. The people started going to their banks. Some of them were able to get their money that way. Many of them ended up going to Eventbrite themselves. Eventbrite was like, we have a reputation, so we're going to end up refunding these people. And so Eventbrite refunded the people and then charged Darius for all the refunds they gave. I'm hearing, and I heard from a reliable source, that yes, he's banned Precious from Eventbrite. I heard that the amount, because they said that the collection came to the restaurant, because the restaurant was still open during this time, Greens and Gravy. that they're saying that thank you for adding money to the meter, Shanae. I thank you so much for that. And I still haven't gotten to all my text messages, so when I get to it, I'll get back to you. You see, they won't let me leave. I'm here all the time, and then when I'm not here, I'm researching so I can be here and have everything ready. So he got a collection for I think it was $93,000 in refunds, because again, it was months of the events. He didn't pay it, of course, and then they banned him. Now what we later found out through when everything was going down in 2021 is that most likely this was related to Spunky Brewster, who was a follower who volunteered to become an admin for him. And he ended up tricking her into reserving the Airbnbs in her name. But he was such a scammer and he immoral and all this other stuff that she ended up quitting and treating his people bad, treating, you know, the D-hags bad and all of that. And she was like, I couldn't take it. So she quit, but she told him he couldn't use her account anymore. He then still stayed at a place on her account, ended up trashing the place. The people came after her for $10,000. She ended up having to close. She closed her Airbnb account. So he then didn't have access to all of the dates that she had booked for months out under her account. So that is speculation is that's how all those events got canceled. He claimed on social media, got this too, during that same time frame, that he was going through a major depression. I bet you was, because all of a sudden the grift of scamming this poor woman to use her Airbnb account so that you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of your hags, and then she disappear and take her account with her, and you left scrambling trying to figure it out because you can't get another Airbnb account on your own because they banned you. I know that would cause depression for many of us. Part of that story. I went too deep. Then we got US Foods. US Foods is a supply, commercial supply restaurant distributor. So they deliver just regular groceries, milk, paper goods, all kind of stuff. And he has them for, you know, many restaurants use Restaurant Depot. I'm sorry, US Foods rather. I used to work for US Foods too. It was one of my jobs back in my youngin' days. They paid well back then, but I hated the job. Talk about it on Patreon. So he ended up owing them food because when the restaurants, these successful restaurants he had that he made millions upon millions of dollars, let him tell it. I'm just telling y'all what he said, that he made millions upon millions of dollars on. When they closed, he once again walked away like he does from every business he's ever had. Walking away means I don't pay the damn bills. US Foods came after him with a lawsuit. I think it was $25,000 if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. I don't know if I got that right. It don't matter. Moving on. It was somebody else too. Why do I have E? Oh, I got etc. because I was supposed to add some more in here. Let me see. I'm just curious of what I got right here. Oh, there's another one. Oh, no, this is a scam alert. Yeah, it's a scam alert somebody put out about him. Ain't got nothing to do with what I told y'all about either. Keep it moving on. Then we have the cooking classes. Darius Cooks also had cooking classes. So in addition to the Dining with Darius Cooks, aka Dining with Diarrhea fan club parties, he also in the very beginning was doing cooking classes where they would book and come face to face, and he would act like he knows what he's talking about, and they would cook. The thing was, he didn't like that level of engagement, and so that didn't last long. But yes, he had an online. I'm sorry, this was on. I think they were both though. No, this one says online cooking class. I feel like I've talked to so many people about so many things over these past couple of years. It's definitely online because I got the flyer here, but I feel like he did a couple face-to-face too, and he didn't like it, so he went to online, if I'm remembering correctly. Then we got the Airbnb situation. I just explained that just by happenstance. Then we have Amazon t-shirts. So some may ask, well, he has a cookware line and he has, he's selling e-commerce all over the place. He's selling all kind of stuff. Why doesn't he use Amazon? Because it would just be so much more convenient. He actually had this conversation with his D-hags a few weeks ago, about a month ago. And his narrative is that the fact that there's a higher cost to using them. Their fees are too high. And so he'd rather do it on his own. He has no middleman, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get that on some level. However, he can't handle that capacity because he won't hire people. Even now, I don't know how much things are really getting out because you can never trust his appearance of transparency, what it appears to be happening. You can never trust that. What it appears to be happening is that his traveling chef staff and Crystal are in the warehouse packing these shipments and receiving things. What happens when they're on tour? What happens when they're at the Dining with Darius Cooks events? Who's packing then? Because people are ordering 24/7. So if they're gone to a different state for 2, 3, 4 days in a row, and sometimes the guys go straight home to wherever they live, who's shipping this stuff then? So I'm like, people need to pay attention to those little details. Like, okay, I see you showing Crystal in the back and everybody helping with these pallets of stuff, but who does that when they're not here? Because that's not their primary job. Their primary job is cooking, dining with diarrhea plates, stuff that look like that. That's their primary job. Oh, I finished. I didn't mention Groupon though. This is a little out of order, I'm noticing. Because again, this wasn't meant for me to do what I'm doing. Y'all forcing me to do stuff I wasn't ready to do. No, so this list has I'm seeing some scattered stuff in here because yeah, this was just for my purposes of putting files there and stuff. So I did the counting, but then there's a couple little runaways up in here. So Groupon was another scam he did. That started back during the Cupcake Gallery days. He was scamming people with and I didn't mention this. He was scamming people. He would sell to Groupon. People would come and say, hey, I got this Groupon that gives me a dozen cupcakes for $10 or $15. He would then act like he's trying to redeem it, help them redeem it, and then say, oh, it's not working. This code doesn't work. I don't have this code. Groupon did something wrong. Then the person gets caught between Crooks and Groupon, where Groupon saying, no, there's nothing wrong on our end. And then Crooks saying, no, they have something wrong. Long story short, it happened to so many people that Groupon realized there was a scam happening because Darius wasn't giving these people nothing now. He was like, well, but if you buy now, full cost is $40 or whatever. And I guess he tricked some people into doing it. So Groupon eventually got wind of it, figured it out, and they kicked him off the platform. He, from what I'm hearing, was able to still get back on Groupon for Soul Crab Atlanta, and the same scam started all over again. Thank you so much, Paradox True, for the super sticker. I really appreciate you, friend. So yeah, that was it was stated that grift resumed with Soul Crab Atlanta, as well as what do they call it? Oh, thank you, Tamika. Where is the Carolina Pound Cake Company? Oh, I skipped that. That was right after. Thank you so much for that. I skipped it. It was right under the candles, right between under the candles and right before above 7-1. I just totally jumped over that. So you got the Carolina Pound Cake Company that he had a trap bakery for in Atlanta. It is rumored, and y'all know I don't do a lot of rumors when it comes to him, especially. I just go with what I know to be facts. But it is rumored that when he first started it, when the cakes were good, because there was a point where the cakes were good, and then they got horrible, and then they got good again, and then they got bad again. There's a rumor that he actually had someone making them out of their home in the Carolinas. And that's what he was selling at first. But then when the volume got too high for them, he eventually, or they stopped working, they know telling how he scammed them or whatever. He then moved it to Atlanta and was in the Trap Bakery, which was an illegal facility. Thank you so much, Sonia Charlie, for the $10 super sticker. And yeah, that's over here and over there. Okay. And so they were saying that he opened the Trap Bakery. He never got it licensed or approved through the health inspector. The health inspector in Atlanta did not even know it existed. It was under the table. And so long story short, he ended up hiring Palma, who was a professional baker, very good. And she fixed the cakes. She said, when I got there, it was a mess, etc. I did a video on that. We'll talk about it more too once we get to that. And then she ended up quitting eventually. Again, it's a whole video on that. It's a long story to that. She quit. The quality went down again. And then on top of that, he was going through all the drama and people reported the location. And the state shut it down completely. Like the health inspector was like, you better get your ass out of here. When you go by there, I don't know what it looked like today, but I went by there when I was in Atlanta on one of my trips. Pots and pans still. Again, same thing I'm telling. Like, I don't be lying to y'all. Same thing I'm saying about Cupcake Gallery, and all his other restaurants, all his other businesses. He just walks away. Even his apartments, he used to do that. When he would get evicted, he would take what he wanted. Anything he didn't want, he would just walk away. And I'm like, how you leaving a whole sofa? What's happening here? Like, I don't want it. That ain't how this happens. This ain't how this works. But that was how he was. So he did the same thing with the Trap Bakery, where you go by there, pots, pans, all kind of stuff still just there on the shelves and stuff. He just left it. So now that he's starting it again in Houston, so he says, he's going to have to buy all that stuff over again because he didn't take anything with him. So, and with that, we hit 3 hours, and guess what I'm doing? About to go. Yeah, it's a couple others, but I'm not talking about them. We'll talk about them later, but I think I gave y'all enough. Vale, did you hear? Is that supposed to be AT Alien talk about the guy he left in Atlanta making the cupcakes? The guy he left in Atlanta making the cupcakes. The guy he left in Atlanta. I'm not sure. I probably do know what this is about, but I'm not understanding quite. And are you saying like Michelle AT Alien? Is that what that's supposed to be? Talk about the guy he left in Atlanta making cupcakes. I'm not sure. I mean, I know he had a male worker in the Trap Bakery who ended up quitting. Everybody ended up quitting that Trap Bakery, just so y'all know. But we'll talk about that eventually. But with that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow, Velnito will be here. He will. What was Velnito gonna cover? I think Velnito is gonna surprise y'all because his content might have to change a little bit. Velnito gonna surprise y'all, but Velnito will cover this. I think I'm probably gonna just go live once tomorrow, and then I'm gonna add a couple things on the front end, and we may go live a little earlier because we do have the after party with the Patreon executive people, and so I'm not going to be on as late on this YouTube side because then we got to have the after party on the Patreon side. And so feel free to join our Patreon. It is also linked in the comments, the top pinned comment. It will also be once this video is on replay and I get a minute, I'm going to add it to the pinned comment section as well as the description area below, all the places you can connect with me on. And with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, I'm going to send y'all out with a good old trailer. And y'all take care. Oh, thank you to all of my moderators on the front end and back end. I know Precious G and Marianne are around. I saw Alice. And y'all, it's been a long night, so I can't remember. I see Don, though. Don and Marianne. I think I said Marianne. And whoever else I may be missing who was in the chat. I greatly appreciate you. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Get a good night's sleep because y'all know I'm going to come again tomorrow. Well, Velnito. Y'all know he don't play. So, all right, y'all. Good night. Peace.
Darius Cooks, also known as your local scammer.
You are, you gay, growing up in Chicago, you just end up being with a tribe of people. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It might be different now, but when I was growing up, there were crews. We had people we hung with, right? Anyway, and I hung with people like, you remember Calvin, Lavelle, those are people that I used to hang with back in the day, and you see what happened now, especially with randomness of Vail. We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? We ain't heard hide nor have him, have we? Come to think of it, let me not bring his name up because let me tell you something. He probably, child, he ready to. Where's the expose? Where is the expose?